the idea of how it looked just after Mark Taylor had originally designed the character. And as we move through from the left-hand side, we go down to more the recent box art, which is that close-up of his face, illustration, sorry. And on the far right is the recent box art from the release of the smaller toy versions that we found on the pegs in the shops. Down the bottom, we've got the two variations, the more modernized version and then the traditional one where he's got the little toe claws. And then, of course, we've got the Filmation animation in the centerpiece there of Zodak's face.
Yes.
That familiar 1,000-yard stare that we often got from the Filmation characters, staring at us like they're waiting for us to reveal what their script is. But anyway, so there's the many faces of Zodak. What do you think of those, Kenny? What's your thoughts?
I think there were a bit on the lazy side with the Zodak. I didn't think they put as much thought as we can very clearly see in some of the other characters.
Right.
Yeah. They said let's give him like a frog-like helmet. Let's give him a vest so his nipples aren't out and some frog feet and get him out the door. We got 52 of these to knock out. Let's get him out the door.
And I'm very proud to say we have the return of the Flamulet. The Flesh Amulet have made a comeback once again.
His look high key. His look more aquatic though.
Right, it's like he's got merman's arms.
Mm-hmm.
Which is odd. He's almost got the little Rocketeer fins happening on the side there. If you look at the modern packaging,
that's true.
He's got the helmet fins, but on his arms. So, how would you interpret his little chest piece? Would you say that that's a backpack, or are we talking about? Is that jetpack, backpack, just a utility chest? I don't know.
I think, man. Oof. Chris, how's it going, buddy?
Chris is here to provide us insight. We need you now.
Sidebar: Chris has been pumping out some heat. I don't know if he's been sharing some of the work that he's been doing in his Star Wars sketchbook. Yes. With me behind the scenes, and I gotta say, Chris, you might need a spot. You might need a spot up here with us.
I think so. I just thought I think Chewbacca was the last one I saw. I think Chris.
Yes.
Ripping out a Chewbacca there. They're looking good. So there's lots to draw from the Zodak here. I think there's lots to check out, and like you can see, they've included a bit of tech, sort of biotech, sort of going up in between his skin there on that middle illustration. So there's a few different attempts to change it up a bit.
Do we know what's on his back?
Well, I remember the toy was basically just like the back of the normal toys where it would just like strap and, had the little clicky bits that always broke, those bits.
Right.
That's all it was on his back. I don't recall. I'll have a look at the book, but I don't recall there's any other technology like a jetpack, because a jetpack would be cool.
A jetpack would be cool.
It kind of fit him because he's kind of like a galactic.
It'd give him like a frogman kind of aesthetic.
I think he's like a galactic police officer, like Green Lantern.
Oh,
but then he's labeled as one of them. Yeah, but he's labeled as a villain. So yeah. So I'm not sure, but he's still got that funky gun. Look at that ray gun.
The ray gun is cool.
I like the funky gun. Who else had that gun? I'm sure there was other characters that had the same thing.
The ray gun is cool. Me personally, just kind of looking at the two on the bottom right? The two, I guess, depictions of Zodak. I kind of like the more modern one.
Yeah, right, with the boots.
Right, See, like the more modern one looks like official for me. You know what I mean? Like it looks
legit. This is official.
He looks, but by official, I mean like he looks more like an official, like like he
Yeah,
could be a cop. You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah,
Like
he could do it.
there seems to be more thought being put into the design of that one.
Yes, yeah. He's got the white gloves like a ranger would have.
True, true.
He
Because
has got the flamulets.
the first one just kind of looks like a bodybuilder. Uh, maybe pro wrestler with frog feet.
Right. He's got the
You,
Ultimate Warrior underpants and the
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, there's something odd about it. And they switched his little furry underpants up to black on the later version.
that's
That's
true.
interesting. Yeah.
That's true. So I think I'm gonna base what I do for Zodak on the more modern the more modern take.
Oh yeah?
Because I kind of I really do like the glowing sort of like cybernetics in his skin.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. The
I
the
do like that,
the aqua
and
color, yeah.
yeah, and we haven't done anything in the art challenge up to this point that has like those little nuances
Right.
put into the overall design. So I think that's
You're
going to
right.
be really
You're right.
cool.
It's been very barbaric in a way, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been very like sword and sorcery, nothing too sci-fi.
Yeah. Now I'm just trying to find out what series Zodak came out in. Was it one or two? It must be series two, surely.
Hmm.
I can't imagine. I can't remember him being the original run of He-Man. But anyway, I might be getting ahead of ourselves. We still got Tila to finish.
Yeah, we'll knock out Tila today. I'm in the final stages of Tila. I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna do here with her skin tone, right? Because I feel like it's too blue, right?
Right.
So
Yeah,
we're
yeah,
gonna warm that up a bit, tighten up some details. I still have some shadows that I need to drop in to the background.
right.
Well, not so much the background, but mainly the rock at the base here. John Cook
Yeah,
is in
yeah.
the chat. Welcome, John. Thank you for your comment.
We agree with you, John. But thank you. Humbly thank you.
Yes, indeed, indeed. So I think today I'll definitely be wrapping up Tila because
Yeah,
it's very
yeah.
very little things that I need to do here. Just
I've just
tighten
got
up
a bit
some
of
basic
gauntlets,
things.
bit of jewelry, and the sword and shield. So I should be able to plow through those pretty quickly, and then we can
The
start
noodling.
deciding on what we're going to do with the next challenge, or if we get to the point at the end where we can probably do our next Invictus draw.
Ooh, I do believe we should do the next Invictus.
Yes, indeed. Alrighty.
Actually, actually, I'm sorry. I just realized I don't think we finished the last one.
Yeah, I've got to have a talk to you about that because I think I've had a little bit of a rethink about. I think yours was fine, but I think mine, uh, yeah, mine didn't quite get to where I wanted it to be, and I
Okay.
think it had more to do with the notion of what we were doing. I went to more of the battle scene rather than the post-battle scene.
Okay. I see. I
Yeah,
see. I
so
see.
I jumped away, but I mean that's what happens when you start something new. It's it takes a little bit of time to get into the rhythm again or of it.
Right. Of
So
course.
yeah, but I think your Ghost Rider pulled it off, but I don't think Hawk Girl was quite where it needed to be. But
No, I think no, I think that's a very common occurrence because I haven't touched Ghost Rider since the last Invictus stream,
right,
right? So I do still have a bit of rendering to go, right? Like I still have a bit of the skull to go in with that one. There's some misty whites that I want to put into the fire. Some more shadows for the drama, right?
yeah,
So yeah, we can definitely revisit what you did with Hawk Girl and kind of put a cap on that first Invictus battle, and then but well, definitely before announcing the new one, right?
Right. So you want to? Okay, we'll do a part 2 to last time, and then we'll do the spinning wheel of. I nearly said death. Yeah. Indeed.
The wheel, old death.
Oh, death. All right. So, yeah, so mine's nearly done too. So Tilla's nearly wrap up. This has been quite the saga to get through this. So, because I think we had a bit of time out where you and I were both busy doing commission work.
Yes, indeed.
But we're back in with full strength to finish these off.
Yeah.
And you've been powering on with your lead poison challenge, man. Those are looking really good.
Well, so funny thing, right? the majority of the works that I've been pumping out on lead poison, FYI, for those of you that aren't familiar and you're new to the channel, I do a single live stream every Monday Eastern Standard Time at 7 p.m. Right? It's called the Lead Poison live stream. I stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook for now. And a lot of those works are commissioned works, right? So a lot of the time I get tons of commissions throughout the course of the week, and I'm very, very thankful that I am that blessed to get so many commission requests. And I figured they would be great subjects to do live on stream, right? Because they're usually not very long. They're not very long streams. I think the longest one that I've done up to this date has been the Witcher.
Right.
That one was a lot of fun to do, and because it was a commission piece, I was able to knock out the pencils in one stream and do a part 2 to the Witcher the very next day, after I got the green light from the client. So if it is something that you are interested in, ladies and gentlemen, the Lead Poison live stream, if you follow me on all socials, you're bound to either see any one of the past videos or see me talking about it. I have a new subject coming up this Monday. I don't want to reveal it yet until maybe tomorrow, or even Monday morning, right? But I can promise you that it will be something that I do like from beginning to end, live on stream. Most of the Lead Poison artworks usually knock them out between 2, maybe 3 hours, depending on the complexity of the art. And if I know we typically do this, in the closing of the show, but if anyone in our audience right now is interested in commissioning Will or myself for any artwork, we have our handles on the bottom of the screen. Feel free to drop us a line. We're very, very reasonable, and on
Well, you
my
are.
end,
I try to be. You are.
Will's a
You're my life.
tyrant.
You're my life goals, Kenny. I'm,
So
I'm
I try
mildly
to be very reasonable.
I'm mildly oppositional.
you know, um, but yeah, and if you commission me and you'd be interested in having the artwork done live on an episode of Lead Poison live stream, by all means, let me know. Obviously, there's no extra charge. You're helping me out by giving me a little bit of content. So it's only right.
Yeah.
So
That sounds good.
let's jump into this behemoth that is Tila.
And I think too, Kenny, if you just click on your Facebook, like if you search for Kenny Calderon on Facebook and you're live, your actual profile picture has a ring around it that says live. So you just have to click on your profile picture and
Very
it takes
true.
you straight to the live show. So you don't have to
Very
do
true.
too great of a search to find you.
Indeed.
Indeed.
Let's get paint going. So What is new and exciting in the world of Will Clayton?
Well, just let's see, sort of been churning through, sort of trying to create video content for these galactic antiquities for Star Wars that has come out. So that's been a little bit of a daily thing.
Which
Um,
looks fantastic.
yeah, I was reasonably happy with how they came out, and I think they were received well, which is always pleasing when you create art that they're received well. And look, I tell you what, like I had no idea the artists that were involved in here. You don't really get told, really, do you, who's involved in each of these initiatives? But when it came out, I was then able to see the 100 artists that were involved in that set. And for those who don't know, the Galactic Antiquities by Tops, who managed the Star Wars license, is an oversized set, and it comes in a very large box. They're premium price, so I think they're a couple of $1,000s a box, so they're very expensive. But they guarantee you original art, signed cards, the whole sort of shebang. But yeah, like I mean, it was amazing just seeing other people's interpretation of the challenge, because you never know if you're on the money or not. Sometimes you just go from the
Right.
descriptions and what I need to do. But it was very humbling to see the crowd that you sort of come to the table with. But yeah, it was a fun set. I'd do it again in a heartbeat for sure. But yeah, so I've been doing content for that, and I just finished another set for them, which is a masterwork set, which should be coming out in a few months. So
Oh wow.
yeah, so it's been keeping me off the streets, which is good. Bit of back to back.
Off the streets.
Gonna keep me busy and off the streets.
So you know, I don't know if I've ever said this live on any one of the episodes that we've been on, but so I have like this trait where sometimes people will say things metaphorically, right? But I see it in my head very literally.
Yeah, it's a curse. Yeah, I'm with you. It's a curse. It's a hard
So
time in staff meetings are a hard time, I tell
so when you said that it keeps you off the streets,
you. You
I
saw me on the
pictured you on a
streets.
street corner.
Yep,
I pictured
that's
you on the
me.
street corner.
I was actually being literal, but
Like,
that's okay. It's a dark time in the 90s. Dark time in the
he had to do what he had to do.
90s. That's right. See, Chris, straight off the rails. 5 seconds in, we've driven off the road in fifth gear and accelerating. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate the support. I really do. It's like most things, like when you're doing, you're right, you're really never sure how it's going to be received. Sometimes it's a hit or a miss until you sort of put it out there and you nervously wait to see what happens. But yeah, the Star Wars ones were received well, which is nice, a nice feeling.
Well,
Yeah,
it's definitely very, very well deserved. I mean, all the likenesses that you've done in this set. I mean, just overall, like I see like a strength in the way you depict likenesses, right? So it was a no-brainer to like have you do work on Star Wars. And so far, man, it's like each one you nail the likeness of the actor, the creature, you know, it's one for one. One for one.
yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks, Kenny. It's tricky. I mean, they really scrutinize things like we just recently got an email. You would have received that as well about the focus on likenesses,
Yes,
and
I did see that.
they really scrutinize Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford. You know, they're really going to make sure you get those spot on, and you know it when you're doing it. You know, there's Carrie Fishers that look odd, and then there's ones that look close to being Princess Leia. So it's tricky. You just
Yeah.
gotta get connect to those little beats that are in the face. You know,
Well, I mean, at the same time, that's quality control, no? I mean,
that is
if they're going to be charging, thousands of dollars for these sets,
premium price. Yeah,
you know, and give you like a heavy card stock, right? For
Right.
like the real like hardcore collectors out there,
Right.
they want to make sure that the art is on point, and I completely agree with that.
Yes. And I'm
You
sure the
know,
collectors do too, for sure. For
the
sure.
at the end of the day, you're gonna get what you pay for,
Right. Right. That's
and I haven't seen not one fumble in the I'm sorry to keep harping on it, but I haven't seen not a one fumble on anything that you've put out for these sets.
that's good. I don't put the fumbles out. You think I'm an idiot?
But yeah, dude,
I think when you're doing sets that big, like I really found it helpful, especially like this is the great thing about Star Wars is that I can mix it up and do a greedo.
right,
Because doing the portraits, it does get exhausting. Like you're trying really hard to match the skin tone, to match the, like I said, those portrait beats every time. And because mine are painted, they're not Copic markered or coloured by pencil.
right.
You've got to get it spot on, otherwise you've stuffed it. So there's a little bit of a bit of pressure on you to get that done like a one and done because you've only got that one card. They don't give you spares.
That's right.
So yeah, so it's a bit tricky. But yeah, so I mix it up with a hammerhead or a Greedo or a walrus man or whatever, a Jawa,
Right.
But
Just to
yes,
kind of break the monotony of the human anatomy in the face over
right.
and over. Yeah,
Or a scene, like I'll do a landscape scene, like I've shown you some of those. I'll do Vader's
yeah,
castle, or I'll do Luke's house on Tatooine or something. Minus
yeah,
burnt bodies, minus the crispy burnt bodies outside. We don't put those in,
yeah.
but yes, doesn't appeal to those who are buying real estate. Just find
Indeed,
the crispy crackly Uncle and Owen on the front porch.
indeed.
But
Yeah,
explain what you're doing with your overlays now. What are you doing as your final passes?
so all I'm doing right now is because I had such big areas of this blue to sort of like cool the skin. I'm going to give it a very, very light wash of this umber, but I've mixed a bit of red into it, so it comes out a little more fleshy,
Right.
right? And cut into the blue, so we get a little bit of muscle tone right in
Yeah.
here, right? So we get that pop in the thigh,
Yes.
the pop of the calf here. I'm going to do the same thing in the other leg, right? I'm going to soften this shadow up a bit too. It feels a little too harsh. Um, with a bit of white. I got some titanium white here that I'm gonna add a bit of water to, just to soften up the hues. I feel like the contrast is up too high on
Right.
there.
Okay.
And then drop the shadows on the base of the fur here on the boots, on her Uggs, her Eternian jungle Uggs, and
Flash heels.
and then finish off the rock, drop a shadow on the rock because obviously she's going to cast a shadow down there, and work and finish up the upper body. This should I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I predict a relatively short stream.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yep. And I think that burnt umber's mixing in nicely with the purple too. It's creating a nice sort of dark flesh tone.
Right? Like it's kind of warming it up a bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
without harshing the mellow, as they say.
Mm. Chris says, you showed a blown up R5, one of a crispy Owen or brew. Listen, Chris, we all know that R5 just lacks motivation. You lack
There you
motivation.
go. Now,
You're
Chris,
a bad motivator.
don't you instigate any foolishness out here, For Will is back on the street corner. We need him off the streets.
It's not pretty.
It's not pretty.
Wasn't good for business.
I don't know what I don't I don't know whose business that was. But I can't imagine that it was good.
Wasn't good. Wasn't good. Like I said, it was a dark time.
Oh man. So I don't know if you're much of a gamer, Will.
Yeah, I
Or
try
if you have
every now and then
time.
to be. Yep, a little bit every now and then.
I game quite a bit.
I've heard this about you.
I game quite a bit simply because it's like the one thing that I do that is like not art related,
Right.
right? And because I'm an introvert, I'm not one for hitting the streets, going out, doing bars, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Unless I'm out on a date with the wife.
Yes.
So as of late, my latest addiction outside of Elden Ring, I love Elden Ring. I've got to be like just breaking the 400-hour threshold on that game.
Right.
Absolutely love it.
It's a lot of
My,
hours.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Since it came out, that's just that's been the thing that I'm on.
Yeah.
My latest addiction is Marvel Rivals.
Yes. This I know about you.
Yes. All right. And just yesterday, we had a major update where they released the Human Torch and the Thing from the Fantastic
Oh,
Four.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic stuff. Pun
Yeah.
intended. Because the Thing is released as a Vanguard. So for those of you that aren't familiar, Vanguards are like the tanks, right? They have a pretty substantial health pool. They're meant to have a lot of defense and tank a lot of hits.
Like Hulk.
However, just like Hulk, right? Just like Hulk. Only Hulk is oof. Hulk is like if you play Hulk efficiently, Hulk can be very dangerous.
Yes.
Chris Bowman says a fan theory was that R5 sacrificed himself between the new R2 needed to get the plans to the rebels.
Right. Well, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I could see that because in The Mandalorian, it was released that he was kind of a spy.
Mm.
So maybe a spot on there, Chris Borman. This might be a
I don't
theory
know.
for the Captain Chris Borman.
Look at that.
Hey?
Look at that. Mr. Borman with the Star Wars propaganda.
With the inside. Yeah. Insider with Chris Borman.
Yes. That should be a segment.
Yes.
Insider information with Chris Borman. And it looks like we cut to a shot of Chris behind the desk.
But it's only allowed to be like D-grade characters. There's got to be inside information about characters that really are deep cuts,
He's wearing
like,
a clip-on tie.
Like R5 or, like the Gonk droid or someone Salacious Crumb, someone that really is like, the work experience kid of the Star Wars universe,
Right.
The intern.
Like the lowly guy that trains the Rancor.
Yes, that guy.
Like
that cries when everything's taken off him at the end because Luke killed his creature. Thanks, Luke. Now that guy's going to end up back on the streets because he's got no creature.
That's it.
Right?
That's it.
Or the poor dude that sits there playing the cymbals in Jabba's palace. That guy. The big gong, the bing boom boom. That guy.
That's it.
With the bad skin. He had that bad skin.
Or that weird elephant-looking thing that plays that weird xylophone instrument.
Yes.
And the
little blue guy.
Cafe. Yeah,
yes.
The weird blue guy. Useless propaganda with Chris Boardman.
So get on the research, Chris. This is going to be your segment every week.
Yeah.
Is to find the random D-grade character that most of us could live without, but we live with, but we could live without.
It would make no difference if they disappeared. No. Wouldn't change Star Wars in the slightest.
No. Wouldn't that be the worst thing? Your existence really didn't matter to the effort, so it doesn't matter. Thanks, but yeah, you know, you guys and your egghead saxophone players didn't matter in the cantina. It didn't matter. Sorry. Deleted.
Respectfully, you guys are gone.
Respectfully, you just gone. Oh man,
I tell you.
Welcome back to the drawing board, everybody.
Indeed, indeed, we're back and we're in rare form. There we go. That feels much better. It was really bothering me.
Yeah.
It looked like she had a horse riding accident. You know what I mean? And she had bruises on her thigh.
Yeah. That's good. That's way better. Yeah. It's more of a softer turn.
Yeah. Because obviously I don't touch the artwork until we're on the follow-up episode, right? So it doesn't break the continuity.
Exactly.
So there's Tila with her bruised thighs, for months, with her hand on her hip, really?
Like, you gonna fix this?
You're not gonna fix this leg.
Okay. The art version of Toy Story.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So I got a little bit of news.
Do it. There's been a lot.
There's been quite a bit.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of news about the Masters of the Universe film that's in production right now.
Right. And I think probably as a little bit of preamble to that, neither of us were that excited so far, were we?
True. We were not. I had very much a bit of a wait and see attitude.
Yeah.
About what they were going to do with Masters of the Universe. And in the latest development, it seems like they're going to go the direction of the Barbie movie with Masters of the Universe.
Right.
In which case, these characters from Masters of the Universe won't know that they're toys.
What?
Because there's a scene where Adam, in full Prince Adam drobe, the pink shirt and everything,
right,
is in the middle of New York City.
Right. Is this for the new one that's coming out?
This is for the new one that's coming out.
What? People are gonna flip out. I can just see this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now, granted, I did enjoy the Barbie movie.
Yes.
I did enjoy it. I understood the premise. It didn't put me off.
Right.
Because I was told from a lot of the young ladies that I work with at the studio, excuse me, that the Barbie movie was actually a pretty good movie. And it had the social messages, right? So, because I have a lot of young girls that are my students, I wanted to be able to kind of relate to them and talk to them about, stuff that's going on in popular culture.
Sure.
I saw it and it was good. I did enjoy it. I actually considered getting myself I'm Knuff on a t-shirt, right?
That would work for you. For me,
it would,
so much.
right?
Not so much for me.
I'm Knuff, right?
Right.
So, see, I don't know.
Definitely for Puerto Rico Con. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
It's going to be a
However, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what, and because of the social undertone of just the Barbie property,
right.
right? I could understand why they went the direction that they went in, right? Because me growing up, I grew up in the 80s, right? So, my sister had Barbies,
Yeah.
and like it was like the girl toy to have,
Mm.
you know? So
Well, I had all
like,
the. It was a girl action figure with all the accessories, wasn't it? Really?
yeah, pretty much. It was a girl action figure with tons of accessories and like little play sets,
Mm.
that you can get. So, I get it. You know what I mean? And then, with like the social climates that we're in, in this current age, you know, I could see why they went in that direction, and for the most part, I think it worked.
Right.
Now, bringing me to Masters of the Universe,
That was a long preamble to soften the blow about what's happening now.
now with Masters of the Universe, what could possibly be the social angle behind
Money,
Masters of the
money,
Universe?
money.
You know what I
Uh,
mean?
they want
Like,
some of that Barbie cash. That's what they want. They want the Barbie cash.
cause because Masters of the Universe has always been like you turn your brain off.
Yeah,
This is a property you just turn your brain off and things happen, right?
yeah.
It's just one of those shows where things happen.
It's going to end
You
up looking
know?
like Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken. That's what's going.
Yeah. You,
to...
you turn your brain off and you're there for the ride.
Right.
There's no, it's not Game of Thrones. You know what I'm saying? Like you very clearly have an idea of who the good guys are, who's the bad guy.
Yeah.
You know,
Is it the blonde guy, the bowl cut, or is it the skull?
yeah, like
Right. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, because and again, going back to the 80s, right?
Yeah.
It was a very common thing, and it still exists today. It was very much a common thing for the villains to be ugly, right? It was very much a common thing for the villains to be. I won't say ugly. I won't say ugly. Less attractive
Right.
or less
Interesting.
appealing to the eye than the
Yeah.
antagonists. I mean, the
Right.
protagonists, right? I think George Lucas was the one to sort of break that stigma with Star Wars,
Mm.
right? Because we had like alien X-wing fighters. Admiral Akbar, was a protagonist.
Right.
You know, we got Sith that are like human.
Right. Like Dooku.
And like Dooku. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
He was very
So
charming. Very charming.
very, very, very Dos Equis most interesting man aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, I kind of had the feeling like you could have him over for lunch. He'd
yeah,
always call you his friend. Oh, my friend, Reed.
and,
My
he's
apologies. I don't know what's going on here. Like,
very
yeah,
pleasant.
very
He had a
very
very
affable.
distinguished look.
Yes, a gentleman.
You know, but he was a Sith.
He was
So
bad.
yeah,
He was bad, like Dracula. Yeah,
but charming nonetheless.
but charming. It's character
So
portrayals like that. I think I could work in the dark side. I could do that.
yeah,
You don't have to be
you know,
totally villainous.
yeah, it doesn't seem all bad. I wonder what the push-ups look like. You know,
We can have some pleasant conversations. Oh man. Here's what I think about this new He-Man thing, though. Like, I just think, I think it could be fun if they do take that angle, because they could lean into the toys, like, and
right?
we love the toys. But I think too, like the budget of doing that kind of style movie compared to, because let's face it, if you really wanted to do it properly, you need a Game of Thrones budget. Like, you got to throw some good money at it.
Sure,
Otherwise, it's going to look like Dolph Lundgren 2.0. It's
I
not going to be
agree.
good.
I agree.
It's not going to be good.
You know,
So,
but I think a piece of me, a big piece of me, was hoping that they did like a true to form
Conan the
Masters of the
Barbarian,
Universe.
yeah.
Yeah, like
I
like
do
they
want
played
that.
like they played it straight
Yes, straight out of the
and
mini.
gave us a
Like, I think we've all been waiting for that. Like, that's every time they release something, you think, oh, really, Kevin Smith? Can we do something that's not about your little message, but can we just do something that's sword and sorcery and with the
yeah.
weird Masters tech to go with it instead of what you did? I think we all feel that, like it's something we all yearn for since the '80s for sure. So I'm with you. I know exactly what you mean.
Now Chris says years ago I went to the Southwest exhibition at the Smithsonian. I was surprised that Hans Hoff jacket was actually brown and not blue, and Luke's ROTJ vest was actually slate blue, gray, and not black.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I saw that actually on a behind the scenes for what was I watching? Was it episode 3? Maybe they had a behind the scenes where they're going through the costume department, and they had Hans Hoth jacket there, and she pulls it out and states that it's brown, not blue. But
Oh
there you
wow!
go. Because in the toy, I think it was blue.
Right, right. The old Hasbro
Yeah, the old
toys.
The Kenner figure
Kenner,
was
yes.
blue. Yeah.
Yes, Kenner. Did at one point did they have a collab? Like, was there like a Kenner Hasbro collab at one point?
I think they got bought out. I think that's what really happened. But
Ah,
um, they got bought out, and I think the Star Wars license went up for grabs.
right.
Is what happened when the Kenner license ran dry, because they had a good gig. Like, because George was like, yeah, whatever you need to do, just do it. So they had a good profit margin on it, a good deal. But like most companies, they got really big and they forgot to sign up again after the license ran out, and so it reverted back to George Lucas, and he goes, "Well, this is the new deal. It's more money," and and so they missed out. But I think Hasbro got it and then bought them out. I think that's what happened. But you watch those toys, the Toys That Made Us series. They talk about that stuff all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
Who was it that had the original Justice League toys with the squeeze?
Ooh,
Who was that? Was
the
that
little
Kenner or was
ones,
it
the little
Hasbro?
action figures, the little ones. You
Right.
mean
That had
they
like
were great.
the little action with like you know what I'm talking
Yes.
about, that had the little action articulation, and then like all the capes were actual fabric.
Oh, you're not talking about the superpowers ones, are you?
I think
Super
yes,
Friends.
I think it was the superpowers ones that like you could
Yeah,
squeeze Superman's legs together and he does like a punch action,
I would too.
you know.
I don't blame him
um
in the least.
like Robin, you could squeeze his leg and he had like a little karate chop.
Yeah, a natural reaction.
Of
I
course.
call it the natural reaction toys.
Natural reaction toys. You squeeze Wonder Woman, you get slapped,
Yes,
right?
I think they were Kenner. I think they were Kenner as well.
That was Kenner, right?
Yeah, I think they were Kenner.
Those toys, like outside of GI Joe, that run of toys definitely had me in a chokehold. Like I didn't, Like I've always loved Star Wars. I just didn't get as deep into Star Wars until um like reaching preteen,
Right.
right? Before that, it was definitely like GI Joe and like the 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 DC superpowers.
Superpowers, yeah.
Because like, and I remember having like a decent amount of those. Like I had the Mr. Freeze,
Oh
right?
yes. Yep. Yep.
They had the detachable. He had the blue suit,
Right.
right? And he had the detachable like globe for the
Right.
helmet.
Yep.
I had the penguin, which was I think the penguin was actually one of the cooler figures because he
It
was
was very
actually like
very good.
round.
Yeah.
You know, I had Superman, I had Robin. Um, there was one more that I had. I'm forgetting who it was.
They had a good Joker. The Joker looked good.
Oh yeah.
Had the Neil Adams classic looking Joker, which was cool.
Yes. See, they had some fire back then. They had some
Yeah.
fire.
They've just
And then,
released them, I think, with McFarlane Toys. I think he's just brought them out again.
oh,
Yeah. You'll have to check it out.
that is interesting.
Mm. But I saw the Superman and the Batman ones. They look pretty good.
See that's just gonna have to be something that I become a part of because like
Yes.
I need that in my life.
You do. You do.
I need that in my life.
Yes.
Like because
They've even got the classic packaging with the explosions, the red and yellow rock explosion. Yeah.
need that
Yes.
immediately.
Yes. The
Immediately
reason and Kenny has stopped drawing because now he's online shopping.
there.
Chris Ballman says, like in Toy Story, where Buzz thought he was real. Yes.
Right.
And then he was devastated when he couldn't fly.
I
Remember?
was like, what? I'm a toy?
Yeah.
Right, because he would refer to the tape as like bonding strip.
Right. Yeah.
He was like, please pass me a piece of that bonding strip.
And he always had his recording stuff and his little memoirs all the time.
Right. And he was dead serious about it too, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was a real job. It's for real. For real, for real.
Space Command, right?
Yeah.
You know, he was
He was
dead
doing the
serious
captain's
about
log, thing all the time, remember? Like Star
it.
Trek.
Right.
Yeah.
And
What's he say here? The license automatic renewed as long as they produce something new every year. And 1 year they didn't produce anything new because sales were down and they lost the license. That's when Lucas decided it was time for the prequels and a new contract. That's right. I remember there was a gap where they hadn't announced the prequels. It was still in the dark times when there was nothing.
right, right.
And Hasbro had nothing else to produce, or Ken had nothing to produce. And then they took it back and then announced episode 1.
Gotcha. That's
I remember
right.
that.
There was a gap. There was a gap where they weren't producing anything.
No, it was a tough time.
But it felt like it was more than just a year though. Like
Yeah, it was a rough time. But we had other things, we had like other toys and things to look at, but like Transformers and Mask and Thundercats and stuff. So
true.
Ninja Turtles came out, it was another whole
Right.
wave of things. But yeah, interesting. The new wave. The news.
So what are your thoughts with regards to what you've seen up to this point? I don't know what you've seen up to this point.
Not much. I've only ever seen the casting announcements that I keep sending you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Until I got the cease and desist order from your lawyers, but I kept sending that to you. That's all I've seen. I've just seen the cast list, and I don't even know how genuine that is, or whether it's just people going, "I really want this person to be there." But yeah, like the casting looks interesting. Like I wasn't so sure a year ago, but look, they've got some decent cast in there, and it looked like they've actually got Fisto involved in this one.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, that's my boy. Like, you get him in there, like, I'll watch it. It's
yeah, but now it's like, how how serious are they gonna play it now? You know,
I
like how
don't know.
genuine are they gonna be with regards to how they handle the IP?
It's funny. It's almost gone in a reverse. I mean, like She-Ra was produced because Barbie was losing money and He-Man was making a lot. You
Right.
know, so they brought produce their own version. It's interesting now they've seen how much money the Barbie movies made and has taken a similar angle with He-Man. So yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, but then again, I'm pretty sure that they probably considered, what would be at stake
Right,
for playing it straight with such a
exactly. Well, your stuff, you've lost another decade. Let's face it.
right.
You know,
I mean,
I
because
mean,
because look at GI Joe.
right? Yeah,
They tried to play GI Joe straight, and it didn't land well.
no,
uh,
it was a bit of a fail, wasn't it?
quite a
Yeah,
bit, man. Like, and I had high hopes for that. I mean, and I saw what they were trying to do with that,
right.
right? By giving Duke and Cobra Commander a bit of a backstory, like they had some history. Like
Yeah,
like I saw what they were trying to do there, but I think like the TV show, like they were trying to sell toys with that,
yes.
you know.
Well, what do you think about when they recreated Mortal Kombat? Because that wasn't too bad, was it? The
So
new one.
right, right. So I think that was necessary though.
But they did a decent job of it, didn't they? They played it straight.
They did play it straight. I think that it wasn't perfect by no means,
Right.
because the original MK, the original premise of MK was to be like Bloodsport,
Right. Yes.
right?
The com-
So I think that was needed in MK, and that was an aspect that was lacking. I guess the
yeah.
seriousness of that tournament was what was lacking in the original films,
Yeah.
right? Like I went out and I watched the first MK,
Yes, I did too.
and I'm like, okay, this is passable, right?
Yeah.
I didn't like how they treated like Sub-Zero and Scorpion,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, and I found it a little difficult to believe that Johnny Cage of all people can beat Goro.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's a video game movie, so you gotta suspend some of that belief, right?
You look past the Kylie Minogues and the Raul Julias and
Yeah, you look past it. You
yeah.
look past it.
At least I'm getting Mortal Kombat, I guess.
Yeah, you're able to kind of cope with it, right? Now this reboot, which was better, because I did enjoy what they did with Scorpion and Sub Zero, right? I
Mm,
think I think if they would have centered the story more so on that and
right.
not Cole,
Yeah.
who's like, who the hell is Cole? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
why?
Right.
Now, I think I would have enjoyed it more
Yeah.
if the story wasn't centered around Cole,
Right.
because like the whole backstory with Scorpion and Sub Zero and the rival clans and so forth, that was
Yes.
cool. That was real
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Now, if Cole being in the film was used more so to carry the plot of the Scorpion Sub Zero conflict, I'm on board.
You're with it. You're in.
Like because they did. late in the end. You know, in the last
I kind
episode,
of
that was
felt
when
I kind of felt though that the if I remember the story correctly, I'm sure you'll put me on the right track if I'm wrong, but the Scorpions, was it his father that had died?
so
And was the
Scorpion.
real Scorpion? Scorpion was in like in sort of the underworld or in between worlds or something. Do you remember? And
So
he
what?
came back.
So what it was is that Quan Chi had manipulated the Lin Kuei, which is Sub Zero's clan, into a war with shoot, what are they called? I'm forgetting the name of Scorpion's clan, but they were at a war. They were at war
Right.
with one another. It was a big clan war, and Quan Chi wanted Scorpion. But he
Right.
basically wanted his soul so that he can come back as a Spectre in service of Quan Chi.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Right, because he was a badass warrior,
Yeah.
but he was tethered to his honor system. So the only thing that would like break that honor system is if like he had nothing to live for, right? So
Right.
he had the Lin Kuei attack his family and kill his wife and child.
Yeah.
So he basically made a deal with Quan Chi to bring him back as a Spectre, so that he could avenge his family against Bihan.
Right.
Now, Bihan, being the original Sub-Zero, right, is killed, but later comes back as Noob Saibot.
Yes.
So this is like MCU level, like MCU level
Continuity. Yeah.
continuity,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Because I felt that the actor that played Scorpion, because I love him and he's in Shogun as well.
oh yeah, he's awesome.
I wanted him as Jitsu. Like he would be the best Jitsu with
Yes.
the golden arm and the full samurai. That's my Jitsu. I just think it was wasted putting him as Scorpion. I mean, he's behind the mask most of the time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of felt like, oh man, like I'm hoping I don't get that same feeling when I'm watching Masters of the Universe.
I hope so too, dude. I it would be really, really disappointing if they drop the ball on that. Like I'm all for creative expression and putting new spins on some classic things um for a newer audience.
Yeah.
But if they crap the bed with Masters of the Universe, that would be the biggest disappointment.
I just don't. Sometimes I just don't understand. Like you've got it all there. Like why do you
Mm-hmm.
have to? Like it's a proven success. The toy's made $1 gazillion. I don't
Yeah.
understand why you just can't follow that model. Like follow the model. Some executive needs to say follow the model. It's all there.
Mm-hmm.
Ring Kenny and Will
Exactly.
and Chris Borman and a vet for archives. Get them out here and start to build a new film.
No brainer.
No brainer.
So to that, I'm going to segue into something that I've discovered uh, throughout the week.
Do it.
So I trust that we are all familiar with the name Bo DeMaio. If you're not, Bo DeMaio is the genius showrunner behind X-Men 97.
Oh, I think I know where you're going now. Yep.
So
Was that the post you put on?
yes.
Facebook? Now, I didn't know about this cat until I read your post. And then I did the deep dive and I've forever been changed.
Yep. So Bo DeMaio started a YouTube channel, in which case he's been legally airing out his grievances with Disney and Marvel.
Mainly Marvel, isn't it, really?
Marvel and Disney,
Yeah.
because he's actually ran the shows for a couple Disney properties as well.
Yeah.
But the most egregious has been his time with X-Men 97.
Yeah.
So if you guys are on YouTube and you're curious to know what I'm talking about, search up Bo DeMaio. Like, it's a relative YouTube channel. He may have 2 videos up. Right? The first one goes into not great detail, obviously, because he's got to keep some things, secret or confidential regarding the court case. But he does address some issues that he had as to why he and the people over at Marvel had to part ways with regards to X-Men 97. So then, this came on the heels of there being an announcement of season 2 for X-Men.
Oh, okay. And has he been involved in that as well, or is he not in the project anymore?
Now, see, this is why the YouTube video dropped.
Right.
See, the thing is that he set up the outline for season 1 and season 2, which is why season 1 ended the way that it did.
Right.
Right. So now we can jump into season 2, hitting the ground running. Right. And now we have these different conflicts, these new conflicts that can be addressed in season 2. Right. The X-Men are split up. Some of them are trapped in time, so on and so forth. So what happens? Because of the fallout, because the fallout transpired in the middle, not even, I think it was like before season 1 came out.
Right. Jeez.
Before season 1 actually came out, there was a falling out between Bo DeMaio and the people at Marvel. He was still gonna be credited as the showrunner on season 1, but they were issuing threats that they would eliminate his involvement entirely,
deleted
from season 2 if he didn't like pull back on his allegations,
right,
mistreatment. And I said to myself, wow,
yeah,
that's not right.
Mm.
So he goes into specifics. He doesn't necessarily name names, but if you do a deep enough dive, you'll know exactly who he's referring to.
Right. It's intense.
So, excuse me, I'm gonna go grab my water really quick.
You're gonna wash down that sandwich.
The wife came in here and dropped off a cookie.
Back to the drawing board. It's important to keep up your energy levels, folks.
The wife came in here and dropped off a little chocolate chip cookie.
That's a win.
Always a win. I love it when she brings me little surprises. More of that. More of that.
Less of everything else.
And less of everything else. Okay. So, on the cusp of the new season coming out, I highly recommend anyone who is, in the audience right now, in the Facebook audience, the YouTube audience, the Twitch audience, you guys should absolutely check out Bo DeMaio's channel and stay up to date with regards to what's going on there. Because, granted, I'm one for diversity and all that fun stuff, so long as you're treating the IP with respect,
Right.
right? And Bo, say what you want about him, right? Because they were like beefing with Bo about what he was doing on his personal Instagram,
Right.
because he's like shirtless a bunch,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Choices. Choices.
because he's an openly gay black man, right? Like, so what?
So you can't be sure.
Look at the masterpiece that he gave us for X-Men 97.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? X-Men
Yeah.
listen, X-Men 97 had me like waiting up for the new episode.
You have to go back and listen to the previous streams we've done. You could tell, like, you were all about it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, as far as I'm concerned, Bo DeMaio could do a live stream on Twitch where he's greasing up chickens. For all I care. So long as he keeps the so long as he's not out there.
Wait, hang on a minute. Was that greasing up chickens?
So long as he's not out there on some P. Diddy mess, let that man live. He can do whatever the hell he wants. So long as he keeps that X-Men 97 fire coming.
Oh man. Well, they're upset with him. Either way, they're upset with him now. So, do you think he'll go the way of Gina Carano and just disappear off the planet, or
no?
What do you think's going to happen now?
Because he's too good of a writer.
Yeah,
way too good. And more importantly, he's one of the few writers out there that primarily understands and respects the source material.
Well, that's the real thing, isn't it? There's a lot of good writers, but do they align with the properties they're trying to? Well, they're trying to make a great movie about themselves rather than a movie about the property.
He goes into detail. He goes into detail on what were some of the ideas that they were kicking around.
Yeah, right.
He mentions what they wanted to do with Jubilee at one point.
Uh-oh.
Which was have her shoot the plasmoids out of her mouth.
What?
Exactly. Exactly.
What? Why?
Exactly, because they want to be stupid and do something new. That no.
How do people get jobs? It just spins me out. Like, who's employing these people?
And again, these are people that aren't familiar with the property, and if they are, they're too busy trying to put their own stamp on something that is already great.
So bizarre, isn't it?
For their own vanity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That look, case in point. Bo put his stamp on this. He put his stamp on X-Men 97 by simply respecting the IP.
And not veering too far away from the source materials.
At all.
Like Mr. Sinister felt reasonably like Mr. Sinister,
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yes.
There's so much there. Why? It always baffles me they don't actually get some of these original creators on board. Like, get Chris Claremont. He's still kicking around.
That's true.
Get Louise Simonson. Get some of these cats in the room as consultants.
Very true.
I just don't get it.
Very true.
They're scared of doing it. It's.
Well, again, it's that they want to be known as, oh, I'm the guy that made that decision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They don't want to be outshone in the room, maybe. Yeah.
But then again, they're going to be known as the guy that made the decision that ruined the IP.
It's on you.
They don't want that same kind of shine.
It's
on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, like, Bo was there in those meetings to shut those decisions down.
No one wants to be the Joel Schumacher of the modern times today.
At all. May he rest in peace.
Yes, but
yeah,
he
but
caused a bit of damage on the way out, didn't he?
yeah, he did. He
Yeah.
kind of moved a little bit of furniture on the way out.
Yes.
But yeah, Bo was there to shut those decisions down.
Yeah.
You know,
Not anymore. Not anymore. So you might get Jubilee shooting stuff out of her mouth.
yeah, which would be awful. But on a lighter note, with regards to X-Men '97, there was some material that I came across that briefly spoke about what we can expect in season 2.
Oh, okay.
So one of the topics that they touched on was the potential for new X teams in season 2.
Okay. You think X-Force?
X-Force being the more prominent predictions due to Cable, obviously,
Right.
floating around the multiverse,
Yeah.
or the time stream rather.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna introduce what's her name, Shard, Bishop's sister,
Right.
right? So that's another potential there. So X-Force being one of the bigger guesses. X Factor being second to that one, right? Because now we're in a little bit of a political bind in the X-Men '97 universe. What with uh, Scott feeling disillusioned
Poor
with
Scott.
Xavier's initial vision
Yeah.
for the mutants, right? So there is the potential of introducing X Factor, which, for those that aren't familiar, X Factor was the government run uh, version of X-Men, right? So they were a government sanctioned group of mutants in the Marvel.
And they were the original cast, weren't they? Generally, the original cast.
That's right. That's
Whereas
right. It was the original group.
Uncanny X-Men were the new era of X-Men.
That's right. That's right. Who was on? Was that Claremont that was on it when it was Uncanny?
Yeah. I didn't think he was doing all of them at one point.
Yeah, he was. Claremont's a freaking animal.
He was a machine.
An animal for like just spearheading that whole mythos.
Yes. Here's the big thing, though, is if you're going to get Uncanny, and if you're going to get X Factor, are we going to get to Inferno with Madeline Pryor? And because if we do, that could change my life.
we need that. We need that. See, that's what I'm talking. You see what I'm saying? You see how all of it sort of like kind of comes back and you can't help but fanboy out.
Yeah, it could change everything.
That was Bo's formula.
Yeah.
And I think it was the penultimate episode, if it wasn't the last episode, we got that dream sequence where Xavier was in Magneto's head. I think it was the last episode.
Right.
Where Xavier was in Magneto's head and we saw the silhouettes of the children of Magneto.
Right. How did you feel about the portrayal of all the characters, how they visually looked?
Oh, I loved it. Because it's true to the source material.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I wasn't a fan of the Big M outfit that Magneto wore.
Yeah.
Right? Because I wasn't a fan of it when they debuted it in the comics, which is why it didn't last very long.
Right.
But I loved the fact that he threw it in there.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he was bold enough to throw that outfit in there.
I wonder if we're going to get Savage Land and
You
Rogan
know,
Magneto's thing going on.
so there's a few different directions. So one of the things that they did confirm to appear in this new season is Polaris.
Ooh, okay. Yep.
So with Polaris, with the disillusion that Scott is feeling with regards to uh, Xavier's original vision for how mutants should coexist, it could lend itself more to bring to the creation of X Factor, right? Because Polaris was on that team with Havoc,
Yep.
right? Havoc, multiple man, strong guy.
Strong guy.
The
moment they gave up on real names. He's a strong guy. Call him
he's
strong
strong.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I see, yeah, and I see,
Yeah.
and I see them adapting the Larry Stroman design
Yes. Yep.
with the blue jacket
Yep.
for X Factor. But then it's like, you know, if they're like going so deep with all of these deep cuts,
Yeah.
one of the things that the original cartoon did that I'm waiting for them to revisit, and even in these modern comics, I haven't seen hide nor hair of this character since like the 90s. Corsair, the
Oh,
leader of the Starjammers,
right. Do you reckon they're going to
aka
go that deep? Do you reckon they go that deep?
I'm hoping they do.
Well, I suppose they kind of skimmed along that with Xavier being missing and he come back and I've been hanging out, free walking in space with this girl and sorry everyone, everything's on the crap, but I've had a holiday. You know,
Yeah, I mean, granted, you know, the whole space pirate angle, sure, I get it, right? But I think they haven't necessarily touched the Starjammers, you know, simply because you know, like Guardians of the Galaxy are like
right,
what's
getting
the
close.
new,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So John Cook
John,
said
John, yes,
it's like the Marvel movies, even with CGI, they still fallen off. Story is now non-existent, and I agree with you. I agree with you on that. You know, I feel like that's a pivotal part. Like that's like the linchpin of like
yeah,
what's supposed to hold this whole like Marvel universe together, right? Is good
good
stories,
story. Yeah,
good
and that's why
stories,
Claremont was so good. He created that soap opera for the X-Men, really, didn't he?
and he did it in such a way, dude, that like that was Game of Thrones for us.
Right.
You know, that was Game of Thrones. No other Marvel book had the kind of drama
Yeah.
and like intrigue just on the social level, that social intrigue, like the X-Men books.
Right. Indeed.
Indeed.
So it'd be very interesting to see what they do, right?
I'm very interested to see what they do. And you know, it would be a huge disappointment if, you know, if they don't um like follow Bo's formula, you know, because he was absolutely nailing it. Like,
Right.
and it shows that, you know, he was all about the IP. Like he loved it. He was very knowledgeable of it, so he knew how to handle it, you know, in a way that was respectable, that didn't insult, you know, new fans, and still gave a bit of nostalgia to long-time fans.
And it very much followed that, like obviously with the new little ways of doing things in animation, it very much followed the animation aesthetic from the 90s too, didn't it? Like it really had that, like you're thinking, whoa, this could almost flow straight on if I wanted it to.
And in fact, I think it may have even did it better than the original show.
Like had the little nuances that they do with animation now, like they had the digital effects and things to it, made it a bit smoother.
Of course.
But yeah, it certainly had the aesthetic. So he leaned on that too to pull people in.
Of course.
Interesting.
I mean, one of my favorite scenes was actually seeing what happens when Nightcrawler does his teleport.
Yes.
And having the whole team up fight with Wolverine. That was incredible.
Does his little bamfing?
Yeah. He ate it up, and I love that in every episode, every character had like his or her moment to shine.
Right.
So that like they're given that respect to really showcase like why this character is so prevalent or such a badass. Like we're able to like see that firsthand, out of a team setting.
Right.
So if they're smart and they like money, they'll follow Bo's formula. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
You like the cash? Follow the dotted lines.
That's what it all boils down to.
I'd like to say that they would, but look at what happened with Star Wars.
Yeah, they don't like the money. They don't like the money.
It's the sometimes the hubris of creators get in the way sometimes, don't they? Don't they, Ryan Johnson?
I'm looking at you, Ryan.
You, Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's sad. It's sad because it's like, the new fans won't. It's my belief anyway that a lot of the new fans, a lot of the kids in this generation that are into, these IPs, if at all, or haven't discovered them, won't give them a real genuine shake, just based off of the trash that's being made right now.
Right.
Like, I introduced my son to Justice League very, very early. He was in like kindergarten, right? When I put him on to the Justice League, like the Paul Dini series.
Yes, international. Yeah.
Right.
I was lucky. My kids were little when it was on TV.
Yeah.
So we'd get home on a Sunday and it would be on in the afternoon. So I was pretty lucky that way. So they kind of weaned on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the and then I introduced the Batman animated series to them too. It's like a sidebar. But they love them. They love them. They still love them.
Yeah. So, my son was able to kind of get into it, right? Because his favorite was the Flash.
Right.
And, from there, we kind of like branched off into different things, right? He developed a love for Sonic the Hedgehog, and he's starting to read manga now.
Nice.
Right? So, slowly but surely, right? And I'm gonna introduce him. I'm gonna introduce him to Schwarzenegger in his prime.
Yes. Yes.
In his prime Schwarzenegger, like Conan the Barbarian,
Commando, the Commando,
yes.
Predator, yeah,
right. Because he has to understand the hype.
Total Recall, Running Man,
Total Recall,
the Running Man, gotta do Running Man, and then stop. Right, then it's important to stop.
And then stop. Yeah. Like we can stop right after Judgment Day Terminator. Like we're
Yes,
good.
we're good now.
You know?
He didn't actually make any more movies, kids. That's it.
Yeah. Everything else after that,
What's that other
got
one? Kindergarten? No, 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 no.
no. We don't
No,
want
no,
that.
no, no,
We
no.
don't, we don't need that. We don't need that.
Shh. True Lies. True Lies was okay,
True Lies
but
was good. True Lies was good.
I will never watch The Last Action Hero again in my
Yeah.
life.
True Lies. I enjoyed True Lies for Jamie.
Yeah,
Like we don't need to elaborate on that.
no.
Just
But
just
Bill Paxton was great in that.
always great. Bill's always fantastic in what he does.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna this summer I'm gonna introduce him to a lot of the movies from the '80s, so that he can understand where a lot of like the memes come from.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, uh, and introduce him to a lot of the fandoms, like where a lot of these fandoms like started.
I think he's
You
speaking
know,
Chris Borman's language. He's a big fan of True Lies.
dude, True Lies. I love True Lies.
Yeah.
Love True Lies.
Charlton
I
Heston was in that. Remember Charlton Heston was in that with his eye patch?
ooh man,
Hey?
that was see True Lies now deserves a second watch.
Tom Arnold.
Tom Arnold, as the comic relief.
Yeah.
But
I do love how they treated Bill Paxton, the car salesman, in that. That was fantastic.
yes, yes. I think one of my favorite depictions of Bill is the older brother in Weird Science.
Yes. I love Bill Paxton. I think he's great.
He's fantastic, dude.
My wife was saying the other day, it doesn't matter how many times we watch Twister, it's enjoyable. There's something about that movie, even though it's very
Yeah,
simple. It's just a fun movie.
it
Bill
is. It
Paxton,
really
Bill
is.
Paxton, and Helen Hunt. What do you expect?
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong, man.
Um,
That's when movies were they had a little more substance to them, a
yeah.
little more bite.
I'm gonna have to say it. I think I'm finished.
What?
Yeah, I think I am done.
Oh man, that looks great.
Just got a little bit of noodling to do on the sword.
Yeah,
Clean the eraser over the top for any sketch over marks, but I think we are finished.
that looks good.
So that turned out to be. I was pretty happy with it came out. It was quite the journey on this one, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
But I had to get a battle ram in our series somewhere. There had to be a crash battle ram somewhere.
necessary, absolutely necessary.
Had to happen. Now we just need a Wind Raider.
Ooh,
Wind
yeah.
Raider would be pretty good too.
I've been here running my mouth. I'm like falling behind. Will for the very first time, I'm falling behind.
Very first time. Actually, I think it's happened once before, but it's pretty rare.
It is rare. It is rare. I've been exposed. I've been exposed.
Well, talking about the Batman animated series, I wonder if they're going to
Yep.
release a season 2 of the new Batman show that came out, because that was
The
good.
one
That
that was
animated,
on Amazon, no?
yeah, that was great. I wonder if they're
It
going to
was
do
a
a
pretty good
part
show.
2. It certainly got the attention.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good show. It was a really, really good show.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, the new season of Invincible is out.
Yes, I saw that. My kids told me that. Who aren't watching it,
So
they just sort of pop on there.
yeah, I haven't had a chance to look into that yet. A lot of my Saturday students are watching Invincible.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. They're. I have one student in particular, right, who's big on Invincible,
Right.
and this kid, he's very bright, very talented kid. Because in my Saturday class, we're illustrating comics.
Oh, cool.
So I have them working on the actual like 11 by 17 artboards.
Yes.
Right. And we're using dip pens to ink and everything. Right.
Nice.
So, to give them the full experience. And because the majority of them do have iPads,
Yeah.
I told them that after they were done with like their cover art and like 5 or so pages, I'll take it home, I'll scan it, and I'll send them the scan files in a PDF so that
Yep.
they can start adding, their dialogue bubbles,
Nice.
to give them the full, you know what I'm saying, the full experience.
Yep. What program are they using to do their dialogue bubbles?
Most of them are using Procreate. I recommended them Clip.
Uh-huh.
Clip is fantastic. It's got the actual tools
Right.
for the balloons and the text and everything and the onomatopoeias. It's got everything built in.
Nice.
So, every so often we'll get into conversations about comics, right? Like
Yeah.
this kid in question in particular, he started going to a local comic shop to get books.
Right.
He's like really into like Marvel Zombies. He's really into westerns.
Oh, nice. Speaking my
Okay.
language. Love that.
Yeah. He's really big into westerns. As a matter of fact, one of the story that he's working on now in my class is an original story that he came up with all original characters, and it's set in the Wild West.
Very cool.
Yes. So he's awesome kid. Awesome kid. And
I love that.
he'll bring up, have you watched Invincible? Right? He
Yeah.
speaks to me very matter of fact.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
With like his hair parted to one side, and he's like 14. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I love my Saturday group. They're the best. And he's watching Invincible, and he likes to ask me these questions that could like kind of qualify as shower thoughts.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like things like if Daredevil hadn't lost his eyesight but still lost his father, would he had still turned into Daredevil? Or like,
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
like who would win in a solo battle, Bugs Bunny or Superman? Like these are the
Yeah.
kinds of conversations that my
Yeah.
kids have on Saturday. And it's like, after I take attendance and I'm sitting there at the table with them, I'm the fly on the wall, because I have another kid who loves Eldritch horror,
Okay.
right?
Yep. Yep.
I got them all in my class. I got them
No,
all. Right? I got this other kid who's heavy into Eldritch horror, and that's the theme of his book, right?
I love.
And he will speak to him. He'll speak to Santiago, who was the first kid, about like in a
Like
very
it's all real.
logical way why Bugs Bunny can beat Superman. And like to listen to, it gives me hope. It gives me hope that our
Yeah.
youth, that not
Yeah.
all of them are lost. It gives me hope.
Not all of them are lost.
Not all of them are lost. It gives me
Love.
hope, to hear them have these discussions. And it
Yeah.
turns into real debate.
I
It
love
turns
that.
into real debates, and then every so often they'll drag me into it. Mr. Kennedy, what do you think? Like, well,
Do you like Superman, Mr. Kenny? Do you like Superman?
you know what I mean? Like, I
Do you
love
know who
Superman.
Superman is? Do we need to explain it to you, Mr. Kenny?
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're great kids, man. I love I love like the kids I work with. They're all,
Nice.
and to that, there's this other kid, Alex. He he started a detective story, right? And he reminds me of a very early Mike Mignola.
Oh yeah, wow. Okay.
Like I have some of his work here because I brought it home so I could scan it. I'm sure he won't mind if I
No, try it up. Let's have a look.
share some of the artwork that he did. He's very, very talented young man. He started this detective story in set in a alternate timeline Florida,
Oh wow.
right? And
Yeah.
there's
No.
the detective's car right there,
Yep.
right? He's going for something very noir, very pulpy,
Yep.
right? And this is a distant future like Florida. So like this is an area of Florida where it's like all grasslands, but we have these like downed wrecks from a
Right.
battle all over the state. And this detective is going all over the state investigating these murders, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And here is like page one, right?
Nice.
We got the guy in the driver's seat. He puts the key in the ignition, turns it on. We get the whoosh of the dust coming out of the exhaust, and he plays a tape inside of an old school tape recorder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
he just turned 15.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is why I feel like there's still hope.
Yeah. Well, look at his stuff.
There's still hope. He's a big fan of True Detective.
Oh yes. Yep.
So the obvious inspirations of like for season one of True Detective are evident, and he doesn't know Mike Mignola,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not familiar with his work at all. But I told him, I was like, look, your style is very reminiscent of this guy that did Hellboy,
Well,
right?
it looks a bit very 80s 2000 AD too.
Yes,
Like
yes,
a little bit Carlos Esquera, you know?
yes. That he draws his figures, in such a way that it feels boxy, but it's kind of like, but it feels natural in the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
he does, you know. So,
Chris Borman says it's nice to have those rare moments where you can have a conversation with a teenager and they are interested in what you have to say and ask questions.
absolutely, absolutely, and that's one of the things that I'm like incredibly thankful for. Like
Yeah.
with the group of kids that I work with. They're very, very smart, very like inquisitive. Like these are like kids that are about the medium. Like they love it,
Yeah.
you know. I got a young lady who's into Star Wars,
Right. Okay.
right? And she's very like-minded with how we believe, Star Wars is kind of falling off,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
And but she loves Ahsoka Tano, right?
Nice.
So
Yep.
like I'm helping her build up the anatomy muscles, right, when rendering her figures.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're using it. We're basically putting in the practice, but with Star Wars characters. So it's something that she's excited about. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah. That's cool.
And she's doing a phenomenal job. Phenomenal job, man. Like I love Saturday group. I had one of my kids just today ask me if once he's done, because he wants to publish a book that he's working on. 15 wants to publish a book that he's working on, and he asked me today if I would be inclined to guest him at one of my tables at one of my shows.
Yeah, nice.
I said, absolutely.
Yes, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Because I've extended the invite to all of them. I said, look, if you guys ever want to see what it's like to try and make some money with your artwork, I'm more than happy.
Right.
And like the parents are super supportive.
That's always a big win too, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. I went off on a tangent there because it's kind of like,
No, not at all.
Because I've been working with these kids for so long, it's almost like I'm a proud parent. Like secondhand proud parent, seeing them like kind of develop and such. It's a beautiful thing. There's hope. There's hope, Will.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally believe that. So tell me what you're up to with your drawing.
1, 2, 3, 4. Right now, I'm just tightening up some small details.
Counting them fingers.
Getting the fingers in there, right? Softening up where the shadows were a little too hard, right? Softening up the edges of the shadows, getting some warmer slivers of light along her edges, and just sort of like pulling out more of the shape language in the armor and in her face. And I think after that, just drop shadow on the rocks, maybe a deeper shadow along the tree trunk behind her, and I think I'm done.
Nice. It's coming along.
It is. It's coming along. Let's see.
But for those who are joining us for the first time at Back to the Drawing Board or returning to Back to the Drawing Board, if you like any of the artwork that you've seen today, or perhaps want to investigate further artworks that you haven't seen yet, you can visit Kenny and I's stores. So we have both of one each, and there are the addresses on the screen now. And Kenny, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a whole bunch of different artwork on your site, varying in prices, everything from trading cards right through to original art, and the opportunity to commission you to do your own customized artwork as well.
Yes.
So if you go to Wilding Studios with a Z.store or at Wild Inks Studios with underscores there, you can contact Kenny on the Gmails and get him to do some work. And likewise for me. If you want to jump on there and have a browse, you can do that and see some of the artworks that have been created, including all of the Masters of the Universe stuff, as well as, in fact, I think I've got a couple I haven't loaded up yet, but most of them are on there. And I think, Kenny, you've got all of them on there. And and that and more. So in the meantime, in between time of those two spots, though, please make sure you jump onto our YouTubes, like and subscribe. It always helps us if you throw a comment down there and to share out the work. The more eyes we get on what we do, the more support the channel gets. It makes it a lot easier for us to keep moving and expanding.
Indeed.
Kenny needs that new car.
I do.
He needs, a man survives not just on chocolate chip cookies alone. There must be more. There must be more. There must be more. I noticed as well that on the news that DC and Marvel have announced a crossover.
Ooh, I didn't hear about that.
Saw that. It was on the Bleeding Cool News this morning that they announced a crossover. So that hasn't happened since the 80s, has it?
Nah, that hasn't happened since late 90s that we had Marvel versus DC.
Yeah, with the Superman Spider-Man stuff on the cover.
Right. That we had that we had those like, what was it? I think it was like 8 versus battles.
Right.
It was Superman versus Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It was Batman versus who was that? I think it was Batman versus Captain America. It was Lobo against Wolverine.
I think Thor was in there somewhere too, wasn't he?
It was Thor against Shazam.
Right.
It was Wonder Woman against it was Elektra versus Catwoman. Wonder Woman against Storm. Aquaman against Submariner. And Robin versus Jubilee. And Quicksilver versus the Flash.
Right.
Because I remember I think I have the whole run. Because it was like 4 or 5 books of
Were
that.
they hardcover? Did they come out as annuals? I can't remember. I think
No,
they came out.
they were the floppy ones. Yeah, they were the floppies. But I think you know what? I'm not sure if you could get the trade now.
Surely.
Because I know that there was like after they did that short run, it was the Amalgam universe.
Right.
Right, where we got Dark Claw, Super Soldier, right? Like the amalgams of a lot of the Marvel and DC heroes. And then when it split,
I did a Dark Claw.
they did the last I think 2 issues of the Marvel versus DC run.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, bizarre amalgams, that's for sure.
Yeah, shoot, I'm forgetting that one of the fights was Green Lantern versus Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
There was an artist on that run that I absolutely love, and I haven't seen him in anything else since then. Because his just the way he draws his bodies is so dynamic. His name is Claudio Castellini.
No, that's a great name.
Yeah, because it was him that was doing a lot of the line art, and Dan Jurgens.
Dan Jurgens, he's still kicking around, isn't
he? He is. Yes, sir. He's still kicking around, and he's still doing books.
Chris Borman says, "What was the series where Batman and Wolverine were combined as one character?" That was the Dark Claw one, wasn't it?
That was Dark Claw.
Yeah,
that was Dark Claw.
I did one of those Kickstarter commissions with Dark Claw.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that was Dark Claw. That beautiful design.
Yes,
beautiful design. That even that in the Dark Claw comic we see the hyena, which is a cross of the Joker and Sabretooth.
Right. Yeah.
Which was an incredible design. Man, like
the Dark Claw
designs
mask
on those characters is fantastic.
The Dark Claw mask especially was fantastic. Just the fangs coming down. Yeah, it was really good.
Oh yeah, they definitely like ate that series up.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Chris Borman says Jim Balent did Dark Claw.
Ah, yes. That was such a good like run. It was that one. I ended up buying Dark Claw. I bought X Patrol, which was the crossover of like X-Men and Doom Patrol.
Nice. Yeah.
Bullets and Bracelets, which was the cross up of like Punisher and Wonder Woman. Right, where it was like a weird crossover of like Punisher and Wonder Woman, but like there's a bit of Elektra in there as well.
Yeah.
And Speed Demon, which was the Flash, Ghost Rider, and Etrigan the Demon.
Nice. That's where I'm at. That's
Speed
great.
Demon. That was another really cool design, Speed Demon.
I like how you've got the difference in your green between the mossy middle ground and the dark forest background, Kenny. That was good.
Thank you, sir. We're trying to play with the color theory here, so we get some nice depth.
Yeah.
Right. I want it to feel warm, kind of lukewarm, and then cold. as
Right.
we go into the background.
Yes. Yeah.
And I didn't want to lose my trunk here.
Mm.
So,
That worked out well.
yeah. So let's see. We got this is too yellow. I need a bit more white. A bit more.
Bit more titanium.
Yes, a bit more to pull out some of the highlights in her face. So what's new on the docket for you, Will? What's new and exciting? What's coming down the pipeline?
Currently working on a new cover for the Phantom, so that's happening at the moment.
Ooh.
I couldn't tell you which issue it is, but it's probably once it's completed, it's due from me in April. So sorry, early March. So it's probably going to come out. I'd say maybe June, maybe May. I don't know. They're pretty quick in the turnaround. But it's a reprinting of an older story, which is pretty cool. So I get to play with some of those old Phantom Trumps, which is fun. So working on that at the moment.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just signed on to another card set, which I can't really talk about, but that's coming down from Upper Deck, which is
I
yes.
know what you're talking about.
Yes, sir. So we'll have a chat about that behind the scenes.
I
So
know
doing
what you're talking about.
that. So that's fun. So yeah, and then in between those things, finishing off my large monster piece. So got a bit more of that to do in the next week or so.
Yeah, that monster piece is gonna be beautiful when it's done. I mean, it's gorgeous now. With the amount of
It's big.
detail and likenesses that you put into it, that's gonna be a beautiful piece.
It is a beast, and it's a double boarded size, so it's large illustration board. It's double in size, so I've got two sides going together.
Right.
But unlike most things, when you're doing a montage of iconic characters, it keeps growing
Sure.
because they keep coming up with a new character. Or sometimes I do a deep dive and I find a character I hadn't seen before, like I watched the other day, a werewolf in London, which is the first time a werewolf was on screen.
Yeah. That's a great movie. That the metamorphosis
Yeah,
scene is so good.
and I hadn't seen him before. That's one that just slipped under my radar. So I included him. I'll show you actually. I'll slide it out here and show you. So it won't fit on the one screen as I'm going, but I'll do a bit of a pan and scan with the camera.
Yeah.
So this is the corner of the board. So Bella Lugosi. We've got
Poltergeist. Nice.
Tales of the Crypt,
Nice.
Uncle Chucky, Jason. Then we got Jekyll and Hyde, Vampira. But you can see that was a new addition, the House of Wax. I just threw him in there. Vincent Price, the Nun, Christine, little ones like Blair Witch, and
is that what was that? Was that Christine?
yes, Christine the car. Yeah, Stephen
Yeah.
King. I've got the box from Seven down the corner there.
You got the critters.
Critters is in there.
The deep cut.
There's the London Werewolf in London side profile. I've got the Shining.
Well, that's gonna be a fire piece when it's done.
Yeah, so this is one of two. So I've got two to go through. Black Sunday.
Yep.
From the Hammer era of films. And then that was the last one I did, the London After Midnight, which is tricky because it's a lost film. So there's not too much footage available of Lon Chaney in that. Yeah. We've got the birds in the background.
Yep.
Night of the Living Dead. I'm trying to squeeze this into the camera here, but we got Creep Show.
Yes.
We've got Hellraiser. That's Hannibal.
That Hannibal came out clean.
So clean. And then we got up here. I'm trying to angle this so I can get it in. The Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
and there's Nosferatu.
Oof.
The Wolfman. That moon always glares a bit. It's funny. It's like it's actually glowing. There's Pennywise.
Very nice.
And the Grudge.
From The Grudge.
David from Lost Boys.
Yes.
And Cujo. Cujo down there.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've got a few deep little cuts in it, but anyway, but we'll see how the second one comes out. It's got Frankenstein and the Creature Black Lagoon, Michael Myers. So yeah, so I'm just chipping away slowly. I figure if I join them together, it'll make a nice big canvas banner that you can buy, and it'll be joined up as one piece.
Ballpark. So ballpark. How much would something like that go for?
As an original, or as a
let's say original.
Geez, I don't know. I really don't know. And what do you compare it with?
I mean, because it's a collage of horror. It's done in obviously a painterly in a painterly style with some on point likenesses, and if, say for example, someone were to see the stream and say, oh, I want that, and they contact you and they say how much, what would you say?
Well, it's a two-parter. That's the thing. To be honest with you, I wouldn't be looking at the counting of hours because that's insane. But I would probably look at the final pieces of size. Mm-hmm. It's hard to say. I mean, you'd probably be looking at, I don't know, maybe between $1,500 and $2,000 maybe for a final piece. Yeah. Just depends. Depends on how I feel when it's all together. And you'd have to decide whether it's framed or not. I mean, this is the second side here that's not even touched yet.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
So you got the Bride and you got Misery.
Mm-hmm.
Creature from Black Lagoon. You got the Thing down the bottom.
Wow.
Exorcist, Basket Case. There's another little deep dive for you.
Ooh, throwback. I remember Basket Case.
Ash from Evil Dead. So he mirrors the chainsaws on both sides. They both go in opposite directions.
I love it.
You got Goldblum as the Fly. You got Norman Bates, Uncle Norman.
That's clean.
30 Days of Night.
Yes.
The Legend guy. Mm-hmm. You've got Human Centipede in the background there, next to her face, a little design.
I like that you threw that in there, very, very small.
Yeah, just the
if you know, you know.
It's just the template. Yeah. Vincent Price as Dracula.
Nice.
The Mummy.
Oh, that's nice. That's.
There we go. The Dracula from the movie there, where he's old. Tarman. Your boy Tarman.
Oof.
There's Frankie.
That's gorgeous.
Had a bit of practice with Frankenstein. I've done a few Frankensteins.
Yeah. That's
the other side of Dracula's hand. Oh. And in the background, I've got some of the buildings. So I'll have the Dracula's castle. You have the Frankenstein's windmill. The Invisible Man.
Ooh.
The Omen.
The Omen, yes. Michael Myers.
Yep. Cousin Michael. Trick or Treat.
Yes.
I'm running out of room here, but yeah, you've got Annabelle.
The Annabelle doll.
You can see the stuff down the bottom.
Yeah.
The stuff. And there was the Reanimator.
Reanimator, man, that's gorgeous.
And the Ring down the bottom corner there. It's on a bit of a twist, so it's a bit distorted there, but there you go. So I'll probably add a bazillion more in there as I'm going, but you can see, I don't know if you can see that, Norma Bates' mother there underneath him.
Yeah.
Just in the corner here. And Jigsaw from Saw.
That's gorgeous.
Anyway, so it's probably going to be a life's work, I think, by the time I do it.
No. Look, that's how it happened for me. I was doing this really large. I'm pretty sure I brought it up on past episodes. I was working on this really large Avengers piece. I wanted to
Yes.
do. I took on this personal challenge of like wanting to draw every character in the Marvel universe that was ever an Avenger.
That's a big doings.
Right?
That's
Yeah,
big.
because it's like 160 some odd characters.
It's nearly all of them. It's nearly every.
That if you put it in perspective,
Yeah.
everyone in the Marvel universe at some point has been an Avenger at some point in
Yes.
their like superhero career, right? So in like a series of maybe 11 by 17 boards, I was
That's
able to fit an average of about 25 to 35 characters.
wow.
Because just me taking on, I call it the George Perez challenge, right?
Yes, that's exactly
Trying
what
to,
it is.
you know what I'm saying? Trying to see how
Exactly.
many characters I could fit into a frame, right? And I
Yeah.
was able to go up to about 35 in some cases, right? Just being strategic with how you would play around with the composition, right? You had some people on the ground, you had some people in
Yeah.
the background on little hills.
Right.
Everyone that was like that could fly was airborne. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know the feeling. I did the same thing with the Hanna-Barbera one. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
That was a
Yes,
big
I remember.
deal, trying to squeeze everyone in, and it got really tight.
But and it's usually those that like because I want to do another one.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to do another one. I think we talked about it. And
Yes.
because like I was working on it at a convention, and I think I was maybe 2 pages in.
Yeah.
And I was building the composition for how the two pages would connect,
Right.
right? So from page 1 to page 2, I think the connecting character was the thing.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm there and I'm rendering the thing, and a guy comes up to my booth, and he kind of like stands off to the side so he can peer over my shoulder to see what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, that's cool. What is that?" Right? And I gave him the spiel. I was like, "Nah, I'm drawing everyone that's ever been an Avenger."
Yeah.
Right? And he goes, "Man, that sounds like it's going to be a big project." I'm like, "Yeah, I got a really long list." So I showed him the list.
Yeah.
And I told him, I'm just going to line it up to where like all these like pages, connect into one big shot. And he goes, "Oh, so like how much you want for it?" And I go, I'm not really trying to sell it. It's something for me,
Right.
you know. He goes, I mean, but like if you were to sell it, how much would you let it go for? And I'll go, I don't know.
All the monies.
You
It's
know,
hard, isn't it? When you hit on the spot like that, what do you
yeah.
like today when you asked me, I really had no idea.
So he
No
goes,
idea.
look, you're still working on it, right? And he goes, yeah. So he tells me, I'm interested. So what if I tell you what, let me give you a down payment right now. I want it. I don't care how long it'll take you to finish, but I can promise you that by the time you're done with it, it'll be paid off.
Wow. Okay.
He's like, I do tons of these local conventions. I'll be seeing you again, and every time I see you, I'm gonna break you off a little more.
Okay.
And sure enough, I think it took me a year to knock out.
Yeah. Right.
It took me a year, and it was just all black and white. Right? It took me a year to knock it out, and sure
I
enough,
remember. I remember seeing it. I think we were live streaming maybe at the beginning of that. I
yes,
remember. Yeah.
yeah. It took me a year to knock out the whole like all 5 pages, and sure enough, by the time I was done with all five, he had paid it all off. Like I think by the time I got to like the end of the second page, and I
Yeah.
saw how much more I had to go, I gave him a definitive number,
Yeah.
and he was like, "No problem."
Sold.
And sure enough, every time he saw me at a con, he would give me 100 here, 200 there, 150,
Yeah.
until it was all completely paid up.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. Like that's why I'm saying, that piece, that horror piece that you're working on now, that's a big ticket item.
It's a big one. It's a big one. And it's look, and to Chris's question there, he said, are those personal projects and commissions? It was something I did. I started it years ago just as a side thing. I was just doing it. I mean, I've got a Spider-Man one I'm working on too with all the villains, but it was just something I wanted to do, like something that rattled in my brain. And I've seen people do a few of those, all the icons of horror, but a lot of them are the Photoshop like merging, and I wanted to do a painted piece, kind of like in the style of Basil Gogos, that real kind of bright colors. So yeah, so it was something I'd started way back. I mean, and I've been sort of recording the journey on YouTube as I go anyway, so you can find nearly all of the characters on there. I think some of the smaller ones, like like the gate. I did the gate down the bottom. You can't see it because it was
the gate. Man, you're hitting me in the field now.
I can only show you sideways because it won't fit on the camera, but there's the gate.
Yes, the little monsters from the gate.
The minions, yeah. They're underneath Hannibal Lecter.
I remember that movie. It freaked me the hell out every time I would see a hole in the ground now. The gate.
The little guys on the gate. But and they were really cool because they were stop motion, little stop motion animated guys.
Yeah, that scene where like they were chasing the kid in the house, and he closes the door on one of the minions' arms, and it breaks up into little worms.
Tiny, and they go under the door. Yeah,
dude.
And they bit the neighbor's kid in the hole in the backyard. Remember, they bit him.
Yeah. Yes. Oh man.
So anyway, so it was really something I just wanted to do, because I feel like, and some of them I've sort of been evolving as, like I told you, some of the characters are added in, but some of them have been new characters. Like I've got to put in the new Thanksgiving movie that's come out, and I've got in, some of the other horrors that have just come out that have sort of been iconic, or they're going to be iconic. So I kind of just slide them in as well. But it's just been fun, and turning some of black and white horror to color has always been exciting, like the Nosferatu and London After Midnight.
That's right.
So it's been good, yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of just a bit of a side project. But I'm keen to wrap it up, so I kind of want to power through it and get it done this year.
That's something that you got to think about, though, Will, because that's a big ticket item. That's a big boy. And look,
it's huge. It's kind of the thing that I'd even consider selling framed. Like I'd probably get it framed in the two pieces together.
Ooh.
And
really mark it up.
Yeah, really put it up. But I mean, then it's sort of ready to hang. You buy it, you take it home, you hang it on the wall. It's ready to go
immediately. Yeah.
It's So anyway, but I mean, it's a funny thing. Like horror work is, has its own genre of customers. Like it's not something that you'd hang like a wildlife piece. It's really got its own audience.
No. Like easily, look, I know a handful of people right now that would take that off you, me included. I wouldn't. The thing is, I don't have a place to hang it. You know what I'm
saying? That's the thing. And I've got to work it on it in my studio because Amy doesn't want it in the house.
Yeah, if I had my studio space, dude.
Yeah.
No, it's no question. Like, and I would even like pay it out slowly until it was done.
Yeah. Well, look, bits like that. I mean, there's like the Avengers piece you're talking about. I still reckon we ought to do an X-Men one. Like, I mean, I think that was killer.
Absolutely.
Like we did a live stream where we just did a complete X-Men montage and just went crazy with all the characters.
Ooh, yes.
Including the villains, including the Reavers. I've got to have the Reavers in there. I mean, I think that would be killer,
I agree.
But
Reavers, shoot, what is the name of this character, dude? He was in the Inferno series. He was the big pterodactyl looking demon. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I'm not. I nearly said Mephisto, but it's. You're talking about the weird. He has the weird snout, like a goat snout.
Yeah, that he kind of looks like the minions from the gate.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and he's red, all red.
Hold on. What was demon?
You keep going. I'll look it up. I'll look him up.
Okay. So yeah, like that's that's easily something you can like get rid of like right now. You know what I mean? Like even I got a buddy who tattoo artist. He would love something like that in his tattoo shop.
Well, it suits a tattoo shop nicely,
You
for
know,
sure.
just the overall aesthetic of like just the way the art is depicted. It's very clean. It's like elevated, even though it's like horror icons. It's very elevated in style. You know that.
Naasta is his name. Naasta.
Ah, yes,
Yes.
yes, because he was like a minion of the Goblin Queen.
Yes.
Yes.
And he was stupid. Dumb and manipulated. But he had that weird sort of goat face with a long snout, didn't he?
Yeah.
And the teeth, he had the jacked up teeth coming out the front as well.
Yeah, like a horse. It was
Yeah.
like a
It was
you
very
know, like he
unfortunate.
had
Very
like he
unfortunate.
had a yeah. He said it was unfortunate.
Got a very unfortunate head. Not tolerated in certain circles. No high tea for Narasta. No high tea.
No. I think his name is just Nestor, but it's because of his overbite. That's how he pronounces it. That's what it sounds like. Nestor. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah.
Nasty.
What's your name, sir? Nestor. Right?
Nasty. And as he says it, his chewy falls out of his mouth because he can't hold it in. Oh no. Has to like quietly pick it up, put it back in. Oh man. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, that's why we do it. We hopefully our artwork hangs proudly in the man caves across the planet. Absolutely.
Now, for prints, what would you do on prints for that? Like,
It depends what the cost would be because I want to get them printed on canvas, so that they're one large rollout print, and it has that kind of painting feel about it. So it really just depends on what the printing cost would be and shipping. But the plan is to do this and get it ready for Etsy. Throw it up in the Etsy side, and then you can order it, and I can just post pack it to you in a big rolled protective cardboard roll.
Yeah.
And it just arrives in the mail. Yeah, like a poster would.
I love it.
Have them signed and editioned with numbers, and there you go, ready to go into a frame.
Well, I am definitely jumping in line for one of those when it is done, because that piece is way too impressive not to have in my collection. I collect artwork. I think I told you I collect artwork from a lot of the guys that I A, worked with, and B, admire. Right. And I try to like populate my workspace with work that I'm a fan of, and that like inspires me.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I try to surround the workspace with things that encourage and inspire. Right. So like, the juices are always pumping.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that piece, hands down, I need that.
Right next to the superpowers action figure shelf. That's what's going to happen. Yeah.
That piece, I need it. So when that is done, I'm, even if it's a print, I'll even take a canvas print of that, and display that proudly when the man cave is up and running.
It's up and rolling.
Because I need it. I need it.
So talking about end results of things, what's the plan for our Masters of the Universe line here, Kenny?
You know what? I'd like to throw them all in a coffee table book.
Yes. Yeah.
A coffee table book with, maybe some captions of memories, with the IP. or some of the experiences that we had creating the works. We can talk about in obviously in the book itself. We can talk about some of the funny conversations that we had on the streams.
Some of the new terminology for equipment.
Yeah.
Like flesh amulets, the flamulets.
Yes.
The corncob sword, merman.
The handbrake sword.
The handbrake handle on the action figure swords. The handbrake.
See, we got a customer already. John Cook is on board.
I forgot about the handbrake.
John Cook is on board. He gets it.
He's there. He's lining up. What about the endangered species for the fur that they use for the underwear that you never see in the cartoon?
That's true. That's true. You know what? I'd be keen to even include like a rough sketch of what I think the animal looks like. Of what they use.
A little orthographic sketch of the creature.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Of what I think the animal looks like.
Yes.
That is now an Eternian endangered species.
I think we even talked about like with Man at Arms, or like, what's the deal with the outfit? Because he's got a jumpsuit under the armor.
Didn't know what direction to go in. It's a jumpsuit, but it's also like very primitive. But there's tech.
And the weight. I can't imagine the weight of that thing. Like that's heavy. That's heavy. Yeah, that's heavy. But I think who's got the same outfit? I think Stinkor's got the same repurposed outfit.
Very true.
Yeah, Stinkor. Mechaneck, he's got a similar deal.
Oh, definitely. Now, I have questions with Mechaneck. I have questions. I have questions.
My greatest disappointment of an action figure in my life was when I got Mechaneck. I was like, what?
Where's the rest of the neck coming from? Where's he tucking away at?
Is it telescopic? Is it telescopic?
I hope. I hope, because because then where are the organs? You know what I'm saying? If it's telescopic, wouldn't it get thinner at some point?
Right. And what good is he on the battlefield? Like, yeah, you can see from a distance. So when he's up close, what are you going to do then? What are you going to do?
Nothing.
You forever sit on the hill just watching? Like,
he's on the hill. I see you. I see you. They're coming from that side. I see you.
I see you. Because he didn't even have a long range weapon or anything. He had that weird sort of club.
Yeah.
That had diamond shapes on it. Like, what are you doing? What are you even doing?
John Cook says, "Damn right I am. What you both have done is phenomenal, and that's not blowing wind up your skirts. Ha ha ha! You both should be very proud." How do you know I'm wearing a skirt, John?
I was going to say the same thing. Like,
I know it.
And Kenny and I are the type of people, we don't ring each other before the show. It just happens. We are wearing skirts. We always appreciate a nice breeze. A nice breeze. But thank you, John. We appreciate that and the support. We really do.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. So yeah, all of what we're doing here with the Masters of the Universe is current. Well, you have a couple paintings that you haven't posted up yet, right, Will?
That's right. I've got to finish Skeletor.
Okay. That's right.
Because he ended up bigger than Ben-Hur. Like, he ended up quite a large piece of me. And because I'd include a lot of the Castle Grayskull behind him. Right. And there was explosions and it was under, So I had a bit to do. So all the background had been completed. Most of his foreground had been base coated. But I just had to do the final pass. Yeah.
I gotcha.
But much like you're doing now, is that final pass on Tila. That's where I was at. Yeah. But probably the only one. The others are all done. Like, it's only Skeletor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all of the other works that I've done for this art challenge are up on the Etsy store right now.
Yes.
this one, as soon as I'm done with it, I'm just gonna give it some small little touches, just for the sake of cleanup,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna scan it up and drop it in there as well. But ultimately, for sure, I'd love to do a nice coffee table book because
Yes.
52 times 2, you know
Mm.
what I mean, is, you know what I'm
Size book.
saying?
Yeah.
That's a
And
that's
have
a
them face
hefty
each other
that's a hefty
on,
boy.
yeah. Have a
That's
left
a
and
hefty,
left and right page. I think it'd be great.
yeah,
Like a
left and
double
right
page of both
pages,
healers. Yeah.
with some notes from the artist on each page respectively, just, little tidbits. So it feels like it's a conversation, right?
Yeah.
As the reader goes through the book. And we can even include some of the roughs,
Mm.
like some of the rough sketches that we may have done when we were just kind of figuring things out with composition and gesture,
Yeah.
you
Absolutely.
know so that it feels very like organic,
Right.
so it
Yeah.
feels like lived in.
A little bit of concept art in there.
Absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely. Because I've noticed in a lot of the shows that I do, shows meaning conventions, um a lot of people will gravitate to the very energetic line
Right.
as opposed to something that's mechanical and clean, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
I had this Deadpool illustration that I just never got around to finishing. It was something that I was doing for myself, and it's an image of Deadpool battling a bunch of hand ninjas,
Right.
right? So like Deadpool has like, damn, he's got like tatters on his outfit, but he's got like an arrow sticking out of his thigh,
Nice.
a shuriken stuck in his shoulder. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah.
it's a very intense battle, right? And there's
Yeah.
like dead ninjas on the ground, and there's more like flooding in through a door.
It's like an
And
Invictus drawing.
yeah, it was a lot like that.
Yeah.
So I did this pop-up event in December in downtown Miami in Wynwood in the art district. And there was this couple that walked up to my table, and they're looking through my portfolio. So obviously, you know I don't expect the originals to really move, simply because
Mm.
those are big ticket items.
And conventions are a bit like that sometimes. Sometimes you sell the books, you sell the prints.
Right.
You
And
know.
for the record, this wasn't necessarily a convention. This was a pop-up. I was
Yeah.
outdoors at a restaurant,
Yeah.
so it was less likely that I
Yeah.
would have
Yeah.
expected to move an original at that event. Sure enough, this couple walks up to the table, and they're thumbing through my portfolio, and she stops at the Deadpool, and she's like, "Man, I really like this." I was like, "Well, as you can tell, it's unfinished, but I'll let it go for this amount of money, right?" And she goes, "Oh, okay." And then she took that. She took like another original. You know what I'm saying? And and
Yeah.
and it was like a published cover piece. And she's like, so I asked her, I'm like, "Look, this is unfinished." And just me, like my conscience, I was like, I don't want to let this go to you undone.
Right.
Because like I had at least another maybe 4 hours worth of inking to do on that piece for it to be complete. And
Mm.
she was like, "No, I kind of like it like this. I like it half done."
Yeah. Right. Yeah. They
Because
like
it's
the
like
happiness of
because I
it.
could,
Yeah.
yeah, because like she could see like my thought process, because it still had a little bit of a blue pencil showing
Yeah.
through, and then like a lot of like, because that piece, I started it with one vision in mind, and then halfway through it I started improvising the rest of it.
Right.
So a lot of the 2B pencil lines were still like really rough and energetic and very sketchy.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I like that. And I
Sold.
was like, are you sure? Like,
Don't argue,
you
don't
know,
argue with it too much, Kenny.
yeah, just because, you know what I mean? Like, it's not a common occurrence.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've sold originals before, but those originals were cleaner. Those were done. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Some people prefer the studies of something, you know. Yeah, I've sold pieces in the past where I've done maybe a page of, it was when I was doing wildlife, majority
Mm,
wildlife artworks, and I'd done a whole bunch of sketching studies of the movement of a wolf, and I had
mm.
maybe 6 or 7, you know, from running to leaping to sleeping to growling to playing,
Right.
rolling over, all that kind of stuff. And someone bought that instead of buying the finished art. They just
Look at
preferred
that.
the studies, you know. Yeah, it's interesting.
And I saw at another event one of my colleagues, Juan Navarro. Shout out to him. He's Fuacata on all social platforms. FWA. What is it? FWA. CATA. it's
Yeah.
basically it's basically a Spanish. It's how we like convey a point of impact, an onomatopoeia in Spanish. Fuacata,
Okay.
right? It's kind of like pow or
Yeah.
boom, right? So he's Fuacata on all social platforms. Give him a follow. He's an amazing cartoonist and writer. He's the one that runs Shotgun on the Office Unicorn with me. He does
Oh, right.
Unicorn.
Yes.
So I was at an event with Juan Navarro, Fuacata, right? And I noticed that he had like a small box. He had a small box with a lot of like scrap like artwork, like pages
Yeah.
and concepts out of like an old sketchbook
Right.
that he was selling off for like $1, $2 or something. And they were moving.
Yeah.
And I was blown away by that because that was the first time I had ever seen that. My impression of like how to like sell your work off at shows has always been like, you give them a finished product. The majority of folks, based on my experiences up to that point, have always been that of, you got to give them something clean and
Mm.
finished,
Yeah.
so that it's worth their dime, you
Right.
know. And it was slowly after that I started to see that, some people just they really enjoy seeing the journey.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
They enjoy seeing the journey and how we sort of like problem solve through the art
Mm.
and think about the art.
I
And
think
that
that's
fascinates me.
why shows like this one, you know, like David Finch does one as well. I think that's why people like watching that, because it shows the thought process while we're doing it. You know,
Right.
it's got everything. Like you see all the mistakes, all the successes in one. You know,
Oh
it's
yeah.
that's the whole journey. You know.
Oh yeah. Because I remember I was on a live stream and I'm inking a sketch card. This was on one of my Whatnot streams.
Right.
And I think I loaded too much ink in the nib.
Oops.
And like I was kind of like coming at the line art in the wrong way, right?
Right.
Because I was about to finish the card, and then suddenly a big glob of ink lands on the sketch card to where like I panic midstream,
Right.
right? And like I had the I'll use the sponge, right? I had the card on the screen like this, and I'm
Yeah.
inking, and the big glob hits, and it's like, oh,
Save.
and like I'm like, yeah, so follow me on all socials, da, 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 da. I'll see you next time, right? And credits, and
Cut
then
to an ad break. Cut to an ad break.
and then I'm like panicking on how I'm gonna fix this card.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, I ended up fixing it and I fixed it. Now it's like you can't even tell it was messed up to begin with. You know what I mean? And I posted it online.
Yeah.
It was this one.
Oh, nice.
My
Good
John
old
Constantine.
Constantine. Yeah. Very cool.
So what happened was I was inking the feathering in the hair, and a
Mm,
glob of ink covered this whole section of his face.
yeah.
So, needless to say, I had to get real creative real quick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
A bit of white ink, a bit of brushwork to kind of smooth out
Yes.
the ink,
Yeah.
letting it set. I redrew the eye
Repainting over it. Yeah.
and repainted over it.
Yeah.
And good as new, dude. Good as new.
I mean, that is a bit of a reverse hack, especially with watercolor or gouache. You can always
Yep.
put a bit of white gouache down and then let it settle for at least a few days and then go back in
That's it.
and repaint those fingers or that eye, or especially the eye sometimes, or sometimes we slip and a nostril disappears, especially when you're working on such small levels. I mean, you can see the size of Kenny's brush, like how small does he have to work for those eyes and nostrils and lips, and dare I say teeth. I mean, it becomes very, very small, especially on those trading card level. Like I was doing the last Star Wars set and I did a few droids. Going there and putting all the little bolts in there, the tiny little glow effects on 3PO's eyes. I mean, it gets very tricky all the time.
That it does. That it does.
And unfortunately, my old man eyes aren't what they used to be. You're trying to get to tiny pinpoint accuracy. It's tricky.
No, it's absolutely tricky. Absolutely tricky. That's why, like, even when I'm streaming by myself, that I'll get into a real like tight area of the artwork. I'll get
Right.
super quiet. It's like the pregnant pause.
Yes.
It's like now all of my facets are honed in on controlling this brush.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Absolutely. The super quiet mode.
Mm-hmm. But it's the reason why we do this, right? For those of you in the audience, it's the reason why we do this is so that you can, get a glimpse of what it's like to make the sausage. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how the sausage is made. It's not as glamorous as you may assume it is. But this is how it works, and damn it, we enjoy it.
So I'm just having to play while you're finishing your painting. I'm just going to have a play at some poses for Zodak while you're doing that.
Yeah, I'm almost done. This has got very little left to it. It's just pulling out some of the shape language in her face and tightening up some of these small areas and getting some of the shadows in the crown and hair.
The crown and the hair.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we've got far, and then we've got Evil Lyn coming up. So the sorceress.
Yes.
Well, after Zodak, we've got Evil Lyn's after Zodak, and then Faker.
Okay.
Manny Faces, Ram Man, Trapjaw, and Triclops. So we've got a good run.
That's a pretty good lineup.
Now listen, Kenny. Listen, we need to talk about this. Ram Man.
Yes.
What's going on with that suit?
Your guess is good.
He's welded into the suit. There's a lot of questions I have. Like, what if water gets into the front part of the mask and builds? Like, what if he falls in water and like it all goes in and you can't get it out? Like, it's going to smell bad.
I mean, does he eventually drink the water? Does he drown? Like,
yeah, like what about the smell? The smell. Can we just talk about the smell?
I mean, it can't be good for his posture to turn his neck like Batman,
No,
like Keaton Batman all the
right,
time.
right.
It's got to be really inconvenient. Him trying to get into just regular doors, he's got to come in sideways. Yeah, coming sideways all the time.
It just,
It's got to get old at some point.
what if there's an infection or something in there? Like,
What if he's
has
got an
anyone thought?
itch?
I don't think anyone's thought this through. Like, what if he gets like, what if an insect goes down there or something? Like, I can't.
Right. Can you imagine what the farmer's tan would look like if he ever takes that?
Just the face. It'd be just face. Because he's got a full jumpsuit with springy wingy legs. Like, he's just
Yeah.
face. He'd just have a brown face. And the rest,
Brown face, the
the
lower
rest.
part of his arms would be brown, but
No, I
his
think he's
his
covered head to
shoulders,
toe. Oh no, he's got his biceps out, doesn't he?
his
He's got
biceps are
biceps,
out,
and the
but
rest of his
like
body looks like me.
yeah, he's gonna have like a Mr. Terrific T on his face. It's
Reverse, Mr. Terrific.
reverse Mr. Terrific T on his face. And he just looks like an angry guy. I think it's because it's really heavy on his shoulders,
Yeah,
but
just
but it's really
mildly
tasking
annoyed.
to, like,
Yeah,
yeah, mildly annoyed Ram.
annoyed all the time. I've got to lug this around like riveted into this suit. No one cares. No one cares. Like they're all off partying, eating their turkey legs. In their purple and greys and pink outfits, and I know exactly what you're doing, Prince Adam. And now I'm stuck in this outfit that no one cares about. Like he can't party. What if he
He
puts
can,
weight on? He can't put weight on.
you
He's got
know,
to stay at a certain point.
he's only good to like man the door,
Right.
because it's not like he can walk inside.
He's a forever bouncer.
He's got to
Forever
come in sideways.
Yes. Forever bouncing.
Forever bouncing. He can't drink.
Forever asking for ID.
Because if he were to start drinking, I mean, he'd lose his posture. Not posture, but lose his balance and like fall backwards.
I don't think he can bend over.
You know what? I don't think he can bend over either.
Because if he falls over, it's over. Like, I mean, someone's going to have to do the old man out of the beanbag tilt where they rock you back and forward to get you up.
That's it. It's full on face plant.
And they just embarrassingly sit there while the kids do that. All right, just do it.
Yeah.
Let's face it. I'm not going to get up unless you help me.
Like just his whole outfit doesn't feel very practical.
No.
He looks as though he looks as though Danny DeVito could play him in the live action movie.
Yes.
Danny DeVito
anyone could be in that outfit. Like you could put anyone really.
And he would like just kill it because it was
Although I'm kind of leaning towards a John Cena. A John Cena could be Ram Man.
Really disgruntled Ram Man.
Mildly, again with you want me to run? You want me to fly into a door head first again?
That's not good for my neck.
No one's coming at me with the ice packs afterwards. Nobody.
No.
Just so you know, people. I'm happy to do it, but I'm just saying no one's here with the ice packs. Everyone's on partying with the turkey legs. No one cares about me and my neck injury that no one can get to because it's in a metal helmet.
At all. You're gonna be dismantling things with a power drill for an hour to get to the neck. And then on top of that, what if the neck is like really thin? Like you get all the armor off and his neck is like thin.
Just the shock of the people pulling it.
Oh, that's unexpected.
The work experience kid starts giggling and you have to tell him to get out of the room. No.
And it's like as soon as they peel off the armor, it smells like roast beef.
Yes.
like, oh, wait a minute.
What did they say on Anchorman? The inside of a fake leg, like that kind of smell.
It's a fake leg. Yeah. Oh man. Yes, the inside of a fake leg. I'm gonna use that one.
No one's ever smelt it, but everybody knows. Everybody knows it's got to be bad. Oh man!
Oh, that's great. The inside of a fake leg. I'm using that this week.
Do it.
Oh, that's great.
Do you know what would be
Well,
another good montage would be like all of the Thundercats like you did, but with every villain involved as well.
oh yeah, yeah.
Right? Just like the
Yeah,
one you
and
did,
like
but with all the villains in it and every vehicle. That
all
would
the
be great.
side characters, like all the
Yeah.
like guest characters that popped up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. That would be a fun one. Because there were two side characters that I really, really liked. And I really liked their design. There was the samurai Bishamon,
Right.
I think his
Yep.
name was. There he got into the duel with Lion-O in the forest.
That's right. Yep.
And the space cop that had the bike and the RoboCop helmet.
Yep. Yep.
The blonde.
So you're going more the later series, would you say?
Yeah.
Like and even the traveling swords maker with the rabbit ears.
Oh, true. Yes.
That was a great episode where he had the man who had all the swords on his back on the shield, where he'd kill people and taken the swords. That was great. Remember the little rabbit dude that would just float around, didn't care. He's kind of like a bit of a hippie.
Yeah.
He was stuck on the fence when they found him. He's blowing in the wind. You know, do you want us to help you down? No, either way, I don't care. Whatever, you know.
And the Robears.
Yeah, the Robears. Yep. The elephant, almost they were like Hindu elephant creatures.
Yes.
They were cool.
There was that show had some really good characters.
Yes. Do you remember the episode that had those tiny little creatures and they would age super quick? They found him in the forest, and it was a really sad episode. Like he caught up with when he was a little kid one. He sort of tried to tag team with Lion-O, and then by the end of the episode, he'd become old and died.
Oh wow! No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was a really kind of deep episode, but it went through all the phases of the teenager being arrogant, and then the young man trying to prove himself, and then became an older man. And each time he turned up, Lion-O didn't recognize him. He was like, "Oh, I think it was Lion-O." He's like, "Oh, who's this?" And then he realized it's the same little character. They're like little wood creatures, wood elves or wood nymphs or something.
Oh, like little sprites.
Yeah, they were like that, and they just aged super quick. So by the time he'd made it through the forest, little guy died of old age.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to find the episode now while you're finishing tea.
I'll look for that. Because here in the States, if like the episode of a cartoon show was like too dark,
yeah,
they wouldn't even air it.
Oh, really?
They wouldn't even air it if it was too dark. That they were. I was watching this anime, Tekkaman Blade.
Right.
Because it was like at the birth of like my love for mecha in anime.
Yeah.
Right. And the premise of Tekkaman Blade is like your standard Superman story. Right?
Right.
Mysterious stranger with amnesia found in a crater, right, is discovered to like have these incredible alien powers, right?
Right.
And the alien power is that he can turn into um like this he can like basically manifest this armor, kind of like the Guyver. You remember the Guyver?
Yep. Yes. Love the Guyver.
But it wasn't like a bio armor, it was more like a mechanical armor. So he would turn into like this like cyborg almost, right?
Yeah.
And the alien entity that gave him these abilities took him and his family and made them minions of like this army that he was like amassing to take over Earth.
Yeah.
So Tekkaman Blade himself, the main character's name is Blade. He lands on Earth after an intense battle in space, but upon landing, he loses the evil intent that was programmed into him when he got the powers. So he
Right.
ends up
Yeah.
fighting like the other Tekkamen, who try to invade Earth. He becomes a champion of Earth, right?
Yeah.
And in that, he ends up fighting his twin brother and his younger sister.
Right. Okay.
So there was this one episode where the younger sister, in a battle with Blade, right? She ends up getting knocked out, almost near death, and it was because his twin brother, I think the twin brother's name was the Saber. They all
Right.
had like piercing weapon names, right? So Saber like notices that the girl won't kill Blade, and he basically like does this crazy attack to where like it almost leaves her near death, and Blade, goes to her defense. So she's laying up in the infirmary, and Blade is battling his brother, and Blade is losing like badly.
Mm.
So she could see the footage of the fight from the infirmary. She gets up, she transforms into her Tekkaman form, and self-destructs when she gets
Oh,
into the middle of the battlefield in order to help Blade.
and that one got banned, did it? In the States?
So upon that episode, the show goes into reruns. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, you got to understand that for me, this predated Dragon Ball. This
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
predated, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like to see that level of drama in an anime, that the
Yeah.
only other anime I had seen before that at that time was Akira.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like this is where the love for anime was just like starting to blossom. You know what I'm saying?
All
And
Battle of the Planets. Did you watch that?
yeah, and Battle of the Planets. But like but at that level of drama,
Yes.
that level of like emotional stake,
Yes. Yeah.
I was enthralled, dude. Like I was hooked, and it used to come on every Sunday morning.
Yeah.
It used to come on
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
Sunday morning. So after that episode, I'm expecting, I need to know. I need a solution. I need to
Right.
resolve what happened to his sister. They go into reruns, and I'm so
Oh
mad.
man.
So then for like 6 months, I'm expecting the show to air new episodes. They take it off. They cancel it.
Oh.
So you talk about blue ball, right? Like
Yeah.
so it gets to a point where like the episode, the not having been resolved for me, I need to know what happens
Right.
in my adulthood after I like start working. I'm living in Florida.
You need to go back and find out the journey. What happened to it all? Yeah.
I come across a website that specializes in imports
Ah, right.
because I was unable to find a DVD box set of Tekkaman Blade,
Right.
like here in the States, unless it was like a DVD rip, right?
Yeah.
So I found a website that dealt with legit Japanese imports.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I was like, F that. I'm buying it. I need it. Well, I need to know what
I need
happens.
this. You need
I
this in
need
his
it.
life.
And it's no regrets. I still have it to the day. I find out what happens. It's man, it still holds up. It's so good.
Oh, that's good.
Tekkaman Blade, I highly recommend it. It's great.
Tekkaman Blade.
Yes. In the States, they called it Techno Man.
Ah, yes. Righto. Yeah.
Techno Man, right? Because it was just like he turned into like what looked like a space knight, but it looked more. He looked like a small Gundam.
Okay. Yeah.
So that you have an idea. But it was good, really, really good. All right, I think we're
Nearly there.
nearing the mark.
I've just been playing around with concept poses for Zodak, trying to get just some different pose ideas, something sort of mid-action scene. That was good, Kenny. I like how you've pulled all that skin tones together at the end.
Oh yeah,
Very nice.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. So now, really, what's left is to drop that drop shadow right in here.
Yep.
Right, which won't take very long at all. I may drop some bluer tones in the stone.
Yep.
Right, and I kind of like this little highlight, this little negative space.
Well, it marries with the one on her leg. Her leg that's upright.
Yeah.
So it's not out of place. Yeah, and it's the highlight too, the vine on the log.
Yeah, so I think I'll keep that.
Yeah.
But then just drop the nice shadow underneath her.
Yes.
Just get a bit of this.
And that will bring us right up to the 3-hour mark today.
Yeah, man. That's right on the money.
Yeah.
Right on the money.
Nice. So next week we will revisit our Hawkgirl versus Ghost Rider.
Yes.
I might just play our little Invictus clip.
Yeah,
So.
yes. I gotta say, I forgot how cool that was.
Round one of Invictus.
That man, that's pretty darn cool.
So same as we do with the Masters Universe. Each second week, we'll do a challenge of the Invictus, and but the rules are, and this is where I broke the rules, and I've got to adjust my own flow to that. Is that it's post battle, so it's got to be something where we have the characters after the event. So I have to readjust my Hawk Girl to after an event. Your Ghost Rider works perfectly, but my Hawk Girl did not. So I have to recalibrate that to what we're doing, which sometimes happens. It happens. Thanks, John Cook. Great job, lads. As awesome as always. Thank you so much. We appreciate your support.
Yeah,
You
so
got
for everyone to kind of get refreshed, right? This is what I did with Ghost Rider, right?
yes,
So it's post battle. So
yeah,
the chain, Ghost Rider's chain is broken in half. I got the other half down here, wrapped around Hawk Girl's mace that's broken at
right.
the handle, and then form that's back here is Ghost Rider's motorcycle that is ashen. The fire's been put out, on the wheels and so forth. So
Smaller.
it's gonna,
Yeah,
yeah, it'll be smoldering. So there's gonna be some yellow bits, some embers and tenders, in the
yeah,
background. And I
yeah.
want it to feel very, very intense and dark in some areas. So it feels like murky, to kind of pull out a lot of the light sources that we're gonna have with like the fire.
That's great. Very cool, man. So you got a fair bit to go on that too, don't you?
Yeah, I still got a bit to go on that.
And so our format for that is going to be a little bit smaller. So we're working on around about A5 in terms of
Yes.
size of character. Again, I broke broke that rule as well. I think the wings threw it out for me a bit with Hawk Girl, but
Right.
anyway, so I might do a quick sketch up of the pose so I get close to being able to get back on time with you because we want to be able to finish it if we can. We want to be able to finish it. Ideally, one and done almost in one episode would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, we first time around it happens we overlap a little bit.
And then after that, I think we can do a sketch card stream, no?
Yes, sir.
We
Have
could
you
do a
got any
sketch card.
themes you want to work on?
So I got plenty.
Well,
I got plenty.
maybe that's where we tap into some of those characters we talk about. So we could do a run of the Avengers, or we could do a run of the Justice League, or whoever, right? Or
True.
any,
Very true.
the X-Men. We could do
Yeah.
the X-Men, right? To match up with your 97.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great idea, as a matter of
But
fact.
we're open to suggestions. If anyone's got any themes or ideas they want us to focus on for the sketch card series, even if it's
Hmm.
the horror ones, hit us up in the comments or send us
Yeah.
a message at Gmail, and we are happy to go over those as well.
Yeah. And anything and everything. There's no limit. Because well, obviously you guys have seen what Will can do. Will is, proficient in a lot of different areas, as am I. I've been, commissioned to do a lot of different things on sketch cards. So, if you guys got any
Indeed,
ideas that you'd like to see on stream, give us a shout.
indeed. And look, you've been doing it for a long time, Kenny. I only got into it really because of what I saw for you from you before I applied the tops. So it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really didn't think it was a thing. I had never considered sketch cards being an industry in itself until I saw what you were doing.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Like
I still can't get my head around it entirely.
no, dude, like what I recommend you do every so often, I do this myself. Every so often, do a quick search of your name on eBay
Oh
or
yeah,
any or, or any or any secondary market platform, just to see,
Yeah, it's just out of vague curiosity. You think, oh, I wonder what's
yeah,
been moved around.
just out of vague curiosity, just to see. And
Yeah,
I did it what, like, last Saturday, and I was surprised to see how many cards are up there now. That,
right.
like, I checked around December, and it was like maybe four or five.
Yeah,
And then I checked again last Saturday, and I think I dominated the majority of the first page.
right. Well, okay. There you go.
Because I'm starting to see a lot of the upper deck stuff that I did for my production years in 2022 and in 2023. So, like,
Yeah,
I'm seeing more of the Wild West stuff. I saw the Jay and Silent Bob run on there as
yeah.
well. So, like, yeah, every so often, and that's a good way to kind of gauge um how the market is, like,
One of your
because
puppet masters are up there now, Kenny.
yes, one of the Puppet Masters is up there, one of the Transformers is up there.
Crossbones
uh,
is on there from your
yeah,
Marvel fame.
some of the Dynamite stuff.
Yeah, your Colossus. I saw that. Cosmic Kenny 2022 Upper
That
Deck.
was you're right, that was the cosmic stuff. It was like just planets and like heavenly
Yeah,
bodies.
Sentinels, Bullseye. Man, you got a lot on there. Spider
Every so
Woman.
often, do just a quick little search just to kind of see that, like, your Star Wars stuff just came out.
Oh well, they're
So
on there. I just looked up
they
then.
are there, they're on there, right? You saw them?
They got two on there now, which is the Galactic Antiquities. We got Count Dooku
Mm.
and Dengar are on there.
Oof.
That's a
What's the
couple
price
grand
point?
each. 2,211 for the Count Dooku and 1478 for Dengar.
Look at that. Look at
So
that.
there's a Palpatine I've got on there. Someone's got on there for $2,359
Mm-hmm.
US.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Jabba the
So
Hutt, Micah
that
Couch.
should give you an idea.
Yeah, interesting.
That should, you know what I'm saying? There's a huge market for it. And it's like, and high key, I prefer that it stay the way it is, kind of like underground.
Yeah, right.
Because
Yep.
once it gets too mainstream, then then we're gonna start to see like the bubble.
The speculator bubble. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's how you know. And now watch. After you do a couple sets, that you get a couple sets under your belt, and you see that they quietly start dropping, and you start to see them in secondary markets, you're gonna start to get a lot of like follows from people on Instagram, all over your socials, because those are collectors that because your name is starting to buzz in those circles.
Right. Okay.
Because I see at least two or three on a weekly basis.
Yeah, right.
And then there's another website. There's another website that I found that keeps track of like particular artists that have had their work appraised. So,
Right.
like,
Okay.
if you ever
Yeah.
get like work that's like one of your cards like slabbed and graded,
Slabbed. Yeah.
the like they keep track of that. I got like 9 out there that have been slabbed, apparently.
Right. Okay. Yeah. The CGC way.
Yeah, it's PSA.
PSA is it for cards?
PSA is the one for the cards. CGC
Right.
is like more for comics
The
and
comic book
comic book.
grading. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And then there's another one where like um and I found their Instagram account. It's one where when they slab the card, there's a QR code that they generate on the top of the slab, that
Right.
if you scan it, they actually like have a recording of you. And this is obviously, circumstantial. Like if they see you at a show, they have a recording of you signing the artwork for authenticity.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Like a little mini video.
How are we going over there, Kenny? We nearly there?
Oh, I'm almost done. I just want to hit
Good.
the staff.
Yes.
With a little bit of a drop shadow, and we're good.
Nice one.
This one came out really, really nice. I'm actually very, very proud of this one. I feel like this came out much better than my Stratos.
Stratus was good though, man. You did a good
Stratos
job.
was good.
You did some lighting techniques I loved. On the wings.
And thank you. I mean, the thing with Stratos is because, a lot of, and I'm pretty sure like this is normal, right? Like the thing is that because I was trying a lot of new stuff with Stratos that I'm not like accustomed to doing in most of my work.
Yeah.
It didn't read as quite as good as I would like it to have.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still passable. It's just
I do like it. We chose different Tila weaponry too. That's cool.
Well, yeah, to kind of mix it up, right? Because every character that I've rendered up to this point has had, just the one weapon in hand.
Right. Oh,
well,
the except for sword.
No, except for He-Man. He-Man had the shield and the sword.
That's right. Yep. And we could have chosen the axe, but I think we're saving that for battle damage He-Man, weren't we?
Yeah, we're saving that one for battle damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is almost done.
It's gonna look good in a book. I'm telling you, I'm feeling the John Cook vibe. I think it's gonna happen.
Oh yeah. No, we need to do that. I think it's gonna be coffee table. We can do it like A3.
Yes.
Like nice large magazine size.
Yeah. Hardcover?
Definitely hardcover, spine, the whole bit.
Very cool.
Let's get some of this navy blue in here. It's too much water on the brush. There we go. It's a bit better. Could be a bit darker though.
Even our Tila costumes, just looking at the two of them now, they're very different in the intricacies of the detail. Yeah. Especially her stomach area is different. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good to get that variation.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because I think I based mine on the toy. I think it was the toy that I went with.
Yes. Yeah.
I went with the toy on that one.
John Cook says, I will buy it for sure. I have a wall in my office full of MOTU figures. Love the MOTU.
What?
Nice, John.
There we go.
Get the mad respect here for the wall of figures for sure.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed.
Nice one. That's good. Sorry, I'm just doing a running commentary while you're painting there, Kenny.
No, you're good. You're good. So I was forget me, right?
Yeah.
So as you get real close on the mic and you go, yeah, just like that.
Yeah, just like that. Just with the brush. Just with the brush. It's all right.
Slow down.
Don't rush it. Neither of us want to rush. Yeah.
Where's Yvette?
I blame Yvette for this. I blame her. I think Chris Ballman was asking before, where's Yvette? Where is the Corvette?
Where is the Corvette to keep us in check?
Really keep reach out and give her a hard time. Where is Corvette?
There we go.
I got to admit, I'm kind of excited about Zodak. I think I'm ready for him. The Galactic Enforcer.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with a gesture that feels pretty close to like what I did with Beastman.
Right. Yep.
Something that makes him feel like a hulking sort of character.
Hunched, a little bit hunched, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit hunched, right? So we could get some of the bends and folds and the muscle tone.
Nice.
You know, something that feels kind of primal, but not.
Yeah.
So, to give the inclination of like a powerhouse kind of deal.
Yep.
All right. I love it when a plan comes together. Yes, that's what I like. See,
Is that a bit of burnt umber you're putting in there with the
just a little bit.
The touch? Yeah, I did the same.
Just a little bit to get those terminal lines.
Yep.
Listen, you opened up my eyes to the terminal line.
The Terminator line.
You know,
it's a lesson you use over and over and over and over and over.
Oh yeah. There we go. Just pack a little bit into this little crevasse. All right. Let's see how that reads now. Let's pull the camera down.
You ready for this? The final pan and scan.
Ready for the final pan and scan. Let me
do it. Let me do a segue for you. Ready? Never gets old.
No, it doesn't. This is what you can expect. Here, John. This is what you can expect, John.
All right.
A lot of nerdy shenanigans. You know, if you shenan once, you're bound to shenan again. Let me remove here, right, so we can pick this up. So really, the only thing that's left to do on this is just kind of erase a lot of my ghost pencil lines.
Yes. Oh, look at that.
But here she is, right? See, like the chunkiness in the rocks. Nice. We got a nice subtle shadow there on the ground.
Bring it in close, Kenny, as you do your little pan down or pan up.
Right.
That's good.
Soft. We get some nice lighting, right?
That lighting you put on that thigh there looks fantastic.
On this
really,
one,
really, yeah, really good, man.
I'm very proud of how that turned out. I was freaking out. Like,
I was very curious how you're going to pull that together, but you did. It was really good.
I was freaking out high key on how that was going to turn out. There was a lot of purple in there.
It was. I was thinking, how's he going to do this? Or maybe he's tinting it for like a shady forest, but no, you won it back, dude. It looks fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. So really, it's just erasing a lot of my ghost pencil lines that you know that are still kind of there, and then maybe I may hit some areas with like some white ink.
Yep.
Just for that, like that nice stark like pop of white, like right here.
Yes.
Real quick, maybe along the belt, hit there. But yeah.
You let it settle for a week. The white gouache, you do the same if you do it thick.
Like I did it there.
I had the same issue, I think, with the lower area with the battle ram. I just wanted a bit of white gouache around there, and that just a bit here and there, just where the metal's peeling up,
Yeah.
But
That's cool, dude. You make the legs on your figures very, very robust. It's very it's very reminiscent of like
I do the muscly
Michelangelo.
legs.
Yeah,
For sure.
they all play soccer. They all play soccer.
But yeah, it took a while. Tila was a big journey. I feel like that took us forever to do that one.
Yeah. You know what? In retrospect, I think it wasn't a bad idea that we took such a long hiatus.
Yeah.
Right, because it's like, there was a lot of development away from Tila because we were working on other stuff, and then
Right.
so now when we come back to Tila, we're coming back in with like those new skills.
New skills. Yeah, for sure. For sure. So next one is our old boy Zodak. These Tila ones, for those listening who are listening to this away from the live stream or live with us, they will be scanned and put up on Kenny and our own individual Etsy stores. Correct?
Yes, sir.
And I don't know. I'll put it up one more time. There we go. So that's where you can find us. Thanks for doing that artwork, Kenny. It was good.
My pleasure.
And they'll be there available. So very good. I think that's a wrap for us this week. Next week will obviously be back to Invictus, where we tackle the last of the Hook Girl Ghost Rider run. So please join us for that. And then we'll make a decision whether we're going to do our sketch card episode or return the Zodak. So either way, we'll be shifting the gears up every few episodes, which will be interesting.
Yeah, to keep it fresh.
Keep the blood pumping. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We always appreciate everyone that joins us for this time. And yes, it is a big 3.5 hour journey today. But we always appreciate you along for the ride because it certainly makes for the engagement interesting and it keeps us kicking on with encouragement. So Kenny and I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Any last messages for the week, Kenny?
Just be sure to like and sub to the channel. It helps us out a great deal. Follow us on all social platforms. The Instagram handles and platform handles are on the bottom of your screen. And tune in to me here on YouTube.
That's right.
Every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, where I do the Lead Poison live stream. It'll be a lot like this. However, I tackle on different commissioned subjects, right? So I'm always taking on or have openings rather for smaller commissions for the Lead Poison live stream content. So by following me on all the socials that you see there on the bottom of your screen, you'll see links to the Lead Poison live stream that I do every Monday. I air that on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. So if you follow me on any one of those platforms, you'll see it live.
What time live on Monday are you going, Kenny?
7 p.m. Eastern Standard.
So for those in Australia down this way, it's about midday on a Tuesday. So I find that you're usually around that time. If I click you on and in between classes or something, it's usually then. So very good.
Absolutely.
All right, my friend. We'll see you next time. And thanks everyone for joining us. Join us next time for Back to the Drawing Board.
Indeed.